Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. I, the Ancestor of Uchiha, destroy Konoha at the start. Chapter 41. The tailed beast bomb in the mouth of Three Tails condenses a huge chakra. Once he explodes among the Konoha shinobi, it will be a fatal blow. This kind of attack can't be resisted at all. Asshole, it's over. Three Tails, Cloud Shinobi and Mist Shinobi, you will all go to hell. All the ninjas of Konoha, after seeing this scene, their faces were sweating like rain. A desperate mood spread among the surrounding people. Under this kind of despair, there are even people who can't even hold the weapons in their hands. The jingle fell to the ground. Even Ignorance Huo Xuanjian showed a wry smile on his face and snorted in his mouth, the chinbin in his hand. Even if Konoha is completely destroyed, the will of fire will never be broken. All Konoha's ninjas have given up resistance in their hearts. No one can resist this kind of attack. Even the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi began to evacuate the battlefield under the order of Raikage, for fear of being affected by the power of Tailed Beast Bomb. Raikage stared at the crazy Three Tails and didn't understand why Yagura hated Konoha so much. After all, Mizukage of the Water Country has kept Sharingan in control for decades, which is not a glorious thing to say. Mist Shinobi definitely won't reveal it. However, Konoha is destined to be destroyed, and there is no way to change this. Just when all Konoha shinobi people are desperate, only Might Guy did not give up hope. A pair of eyes gleamed faintly, and he folded his hands on his forehead. The whole body of chakra instantly condenses in the acupuncture points of the whole body. The powerful chakra energy bursts out instantly. An invisible wave of air was set off around, and all the dust in the sky was suddenly lifted. In Guy's mind, his father Might Guy and Kakashi flashed. One is his most beloved father. One is his eternal opponent. It's just that both of them passed away one after another in order to protect the things they cherished. Now, it's finally time for me to implement my Shindo and protect Konoha with my life. 8 inner gates, 8th. Just when Guy was about to open the 8th gate, a cry full of vicissitudes came suddenly. Summoning House Collapse Technique. This voice instantly stunned all Konoha shinobi. Guy's 8th gate was also interrupted by this shout. Tsunade's eyes were instantly filled with mist, and the tension in his entire body disappeared instantly. Idiot, Jiraiya, asshole. As soon as the voice fell, a huge toad fell from the sky in an instant. Hit Three Tails fiercely. Boom. Three Tails' huge body was instantly smashed into the ground. The tailed beast bomb condensed in the mouth is all shattered in an instant. A figure with white hair and a fiery red cloak, standing on top of Toad's head, condescendingly looking down at everyone. Seeing his figure, all Konoha shinobi's faces instantly filled with joy. It's Lord Jiraiya, Toad Sage Jiraiya, now we are sure to win. The only fairy in Sannin, Konoha is saved. Master Jiraiya, kill all the fools of Cloud Shinobi. For a time, the fighting spirit of all Konoha shinobi people rose again. The fighting enthusiasm is unprecedentedly strong. After all, although Tsunade is listed as one of Sannin, it is famous in the ninjutsu world for medical ninjutsu. Only Orochimaru and Jiraiya have used their real strength to make their name resound in the 5 major countries. Moreover, Jiraiya is still the only fairy in the ninja world. Masters powerful sage art. Having traveled in Konoha village for many years, no one knows where his strength has reached. At this moment, Three Tails, which was trampled by Toad Guang, exploded with great power. Struggling to break free from it, Jiraiya frowned, and instantly jumped from Toad's head to Three Tails. Mizukage, how about a temporary halt between Mist Shinobi and Konoha? If there is any offense, on behalf of Konoha, I assure you that I will give you a satisfactory answer. After hearing his words, Yagura's voice came from Three Tails' body. You Konoha are a group of insidious and cunning villains. I won't be fooled by you. Today I want to destroy Konoha village. The words full of hatred made Jiraiya stunned. Except for the top of Mist Shinobi, no one knew that Tangtang Mizukage would have been controlled by Uchiha's Sharingan for so long. Even if it hadn't been for the illusion to dissolve on its own, he still couldn't get out of it. After hearing his words, Jiraiya's face was filled with anger. In that case, don't blame me. He knotted his hands and slapped the ground fiercely. Summoning technique. 2 huge smoke bursts instantly. Toad Wentai and Toad Jian burst out of the smoke in an instant, working together to suppress Three Tails. painted a few bright red oil paints on the face with both hands, and his hands folded instantly. Snapped. Tsunade, please buy me some time, I want to summon those two immortals. With Jiraiya's current strength, there is no way to directly summon the two immortals of Mount Myoboku. It must take a period of time to gain momentum. Tsunade clearly understood the situation and immediately ordered all Konoha shinobi to wrap Jiraiya in it to prevent Cloud Shinobi and Mist Shinobi's sneak attacks. At the same time, do your best to summon the Katsuyu Fairy in the Wetbone Forest. Heal injuries for all ninjas. What Konoha lacks now is the high-level combat power, if Jiraiya enters Sage mode smoothly. The effect on the entire battlefield will be very big. Reikage frowned deeply, and Jiraiya was more famous than Tsunade. After all, he once taught a Hokage who was not even his opponent. Seeing that he didn't know what kind of ninjutsu he was preparing, he was also anxious. Is this guy preparing for a powerful forbidden technique? The reason why Konoha can stand in the ninja world for many years is that he has many powerful families. It is the forbidden technique left by Senju Tobarama. Just the forbidden technique recorded by Konoha is about to surpass the sum of half of the Hokage world. He must not be allowed to show it. Reikage frowned, and a light blue lightning-style chakra suddenly filled his body. Bright arcs continuously jumped over his body. Lightning-style chakra mode. In the next second, his body instantly appeared beside Jiraiya. The carrier slapped Jiraiya's neck with a strong electric punch. Lariat, a mouthful of blood, squirted out instantly. The country of wind, Sunagakur. Under the war between Konoha and Cloud Shinobi, there is no place in the entire ninja world that can really calm down. After all, once the 5 most powerful nations shuffle, they will have a huge impact on the ninja world. 4th Kazekage Luasha is standing on a suspended sand pile, high above the sky. He put his arms around his chest and looked at the direction of the country of fire with a serious face. Chakra, the outbreak of the war, made him feel faintly here. However, it is still a mystery how this war has been extended to the present point. The militant Cloud Shinobi can understand Konoha, whose offensive strength has declined, but the country of Mizuno joins in and joins forces against Konoha. There is something strange about this matter. Since 4th Mizukage Yagura succeeded to the throne, he has been shut out of the country and never communicated with the outside world. It stands to reason that there is no possibility of enmity with Konoha. All kinds of abnormalities made him feel that a pair of invisible hands was secretly controlling the entire ninja world. Play with the 5 major ninja nations in their hands. But, who is this big hand, or what strength it is? He still hasn't figured it out yet. At this moment, a puppet bird suddenly flew to his side. Luo Sha's brow furrowed instantly, as if an ominous premonition filled his heart. At this time, Sand Shinobi advises the puppet bird of the millennial mother-in-law. Moreover, Chiyo has lived in seclusion for many years, and she will only use this method to contact her in an emergency. Could it be? Is there something going to happen? In a secret room in Sunagakur, mother-in-law Chiyo was standing in the room with her brother Ebizo and talking in a low voice. Sister, Muyun-sama really came back. Seeing his brother's serious expression, Chiyo felt helpless. This guy has admired Uchiha Muyun since he was a child. Even after so many years, it is the same. After knowing the news, she has been questioned a dozen times in succession. Even if he gets an affirmative answer, he will have to confirm it after a while. Simply annoying. I'm back. Now the battle between Konoha and Cloud Shinobi was provoked by Muyun-sama, and Mist Shinobi, who just joined, is also the plan of the adults. Chiyo sighed slightly, and couldn't help sighing in his heart. Konoha has been standing in the ninja world for many years and has experienced 4 Hokages. There has never been any force, anyone can really take it down. However, in front of Muyun, it seemed that it could be destroyed by hand. Even, he had already provoked the 4th Ninja World War before he took a shot. Once he really makes a move, no one knows how much impact it will have. At this moment, 4th Kazekage Rosha hurriedly came from outside the door. Chiyo, what caused you both to go out? Are you tired of fishing? Seeing Luo Sha's figure, Chiandai's eyes flashed with a struggling color. Although she wanted to avenge her parents, she wanted to use Sand Shinobi's power to attack Konoha's Sunagakur. However, 60 years have passed. I also have some feelings for this village. Even the wind shadow Luasha standing in front of her was brought up by her. Thinking of killing him personally, there was something in my heart that couldn't bear it. However, Ebizo next to him was not polite and asked Luo Sha directly. Konoha has now been besieged by Cloud Shinobi and Mist Shinobi. It is obvious that it can't support it. Why don't you lead Sand Shinobi to attack Konoha? At that time, you will be able to occupy a piece of territory in the Land of Fire. Luo Sha frowned, her face showing an unpleasant color. The old guy who has lived in seclusion for many years still wants to interfere in Sunogaku's internal affairs. However, the two of them are veterans who joined since Sand Shinobi's establishment, and they still saved some face during the conversation. I think this is a bit weird. I can understand Cloud Shinobi's attack on Konoha, but Mist Shinobi has very little contact with the outside world since the Third Ninja War. It stands to reason that he shouldn't have enemies with Konoha. I always feel this. Someone is controlling behind things. After hearing Luo Sha's words, Chio's heart jumped. Before the huge territory of the Country of Fire, he could still think so calmly. As expected of Sand Shinobi's Wind and Shadow. However, anyone who blocks the footsteps of Master Muyun will die. A look of anger appeared on Ebizo's face for an instant, and she pointed to Luasha's nose and cursed. My sister and I's parents died in the hands of the Konoha shinobi, and Sasori's parents were also killed by Konoha's White Fang. Even if it is not for profit, but for revenge, you should also send troops. Looking forward and backward, how do you do Sand Shinobi? Fengiying. Luo Sha's face instantly filled with a layer of anger, and even her eyes were slightly narrowed. Two old guys who have lived in seclusion, dare to say that to him. Do you really think you are still the big man who controlled Sand Shinobi before? With a thought, a large amount of sand gold appeared out of thin air. In an instant, the figures of the two of them were wrapped in it. The unusually cold eyes instantly swept across the faces of the two of them, and Luo Sha's face looked a little better when they saw that they did not resist. You two should catch your fish well in the future. You don't need to worry about Sand Shinobi. At this moment, a bitter breeze passed behind him in an instant. Muyun had already stood in the room for unknown time, and was slowly retracting the long knife in his hand into the scabbard. Luo Sha's pupils shrank fiercely, and her heart was filled with great surprise. It can be silent. His thoughts ended here. Gudong. A dull sound came in an instant, and his head rolled directly from his neck to the ground. However, there was no trace of bloodline flowing out. The blood in the wound has been frozen into ice all over the ground. Even his body was shocked and exploded into ice mist in the sky. Without his control, the sand gold surrounding Ebizo and Chio was instantly scattered on the ground. The two quickly knelt to Muyun on one knee, and Ebizo's face was full of excitement. Master Muyun, you really came back. Uchiha Muyun glanced at the figures of the two of them, and said flatly. Orochimaru has another mission. Konoha collapse plan is temporarily executed by both of you. Asterisk. Battlefield in the Valley of End. Fourth Reikage, who has never taken the initiative since the beginning of the war, directly beat Jiraiya to vomit blood and throw it away at the first shot. The whole person's trachea was instantly interrupted, and there was no possibility of survival at all. Puff. A mouthful of blood spurted out again, and Jiraiya's folded hands were instantly separated. The blood foaming from the corner of his mouth is only a line from death. The speed, really fast. The ninjutsu of the Grandmaster Lightning Style Chakra mode has been used in the previous Reikage, and the speed is very fast. Even compared with Namikaze Minato, it is not much different. Under his full force mode, Jiraiya and the other Konoha ninjas simply couldn't react. Lariat broke his throat in an instant. It is now on the verge of death. This scene instantly stunned the Konoha shinobi. Even Tsunade's pupils shrank instantly, and the expression on his face was full of panic. Just when she was about to scream out, Jiraiya's corpse burst into a cloud of smoke in an instant and dissipated in the wind. Tsunade breathed a sigh of relief for an instant, and smiled. Just know that Jiraiya is not a man who is so easy to die. Even when he was besieged by Rock Shinobi, he failed to kill him. It's just a Reikage, how could it threaten him? Reikage's face was instantly filled with consternation, and his figure suddenly turned. At this time, Jiraiya's voice came directly from the sky. All of you who have been waiting for Konoha, the fairy Jiraiya has returned, so quickly evacuate from the battlefield. I saw the two toad sages on Jiraiya's shoulders, and the seals that were forming in his hands. Tsunade quickly sent orders to everyone. Leave the vicinity of Reikage immediately to avoid accidental injury. Jiraiya has a wide range of attacks. All Konoha's ninjas quickly evacuated from the Reikage neighborhood. In the blink of an eye, Reikage was left alone. Sage Art Gomon. Boom. The burning flames instantly detonated the air in front of you. Even the ground on the ground was scorched by flames. In the thick flames, Reikage flew upside down in an instant. After rubbing a long mark on the ground, he stopped. The clothes on his body were toasted by the flames with thick white smoke. Jiraiya flicked her long hair and stretched her hands to the sides, her face already faintly turned into a frog. Fairy Jiraiya, come on. Toad, who was standing on his shoulders, slapped him instantly. Little Jiraiya, don't be funny when fighting. Reikage on one side slowly stood up and slapped off the sparks on his clothes. His eyes were tightly fixed on Jiraiya's body. Unexpectedly, Jiraiya will be in the legendary Sage mode. However, even if you can use the powerful Sage art, can you block the two big tail beasts of Cloud Shinobi? By Wooden Golem, prepares tail beastization. At this moment, a strange clicking sound suddenly came. Several extremely thin chakra threads swept across the battlefield instantly, and each chakra thread was connected to a puppet. It instantly surrounded Jiraiya's figure. This is the puppetry of 1,000 generations of old women. Jiraiya and Tsunade have fought Chiyo on the battlefield, and they are no strangers to her methods. It is called the flower of sand that will not wither even if it withers. However, isn't this old woman supposed to have died long ago? Actually still alive, Chiyo's figure instantly appeared on a rock beside Reikage. The 5 fingers of the right hand are all connected to a chakra thread. Join forces to destroy Konoha and divide the territory of the Land of Fire. Just throwing a simple sentence, Chiyo joined the battlefield instantly. Behind her, there are a large number of Sand Shinobi troops. Everyone joined the battle instantly, and joined forces to attack Konoha's ninja. Well, what is going on? Isn't Sand Shinobi Konoha's ally? Why even they attack us? In the face of huge interests, where will there be friends forever? The siege of the 3 kingdoms, there is no hope of winning at all. Shiranui Kenma looked at the panicked Konoha Shinobi and screamed quickly. Konoha Shinobi, we have no retreat, let's fight to the death. After speaking, he shot Sand Shinobi through the neck with Senbon in his mouth. The whole person rushed into the dense enemy army. The intense despair caused Konoha's ninjas to let out a loud roar in an instant. Thinking of the enemy far more than 3 times ahead, launch the final attack. For a time, the entire battlefield was chaotic. Numerous Konoha's ninjas were instantly killed while surrounded by enemies. Not even a few corpses can be preserved intact. Konoha village. 2 silhouettes were walking slowly in the empty street. Orochimaru followed Mu-yun closely, and a pair of snake pupils carefully looked at the surrounding environment. In Konoha, there are only a few dozen Chunin and 2 or 3 Jonin left behind. The others all rushed to the front line. The whole village has almost become an empty city. Only a large number of villagers and genin, still under the organization of special personnel, evacuated Konoha from the rear in an orderly manner. With Orochimaru's strength, Konoha can be completely destroyed. However, this is not the purpose of Konoha. After a while, Mu-yun stopped. Reached out and pushed open the door of the Uchiha clan. Squeaky. A soft sound instantly tore the silence of the dark night. A passing Chunin just wanted to check it out, but was bitten in the throat by a lion majesty. The venom entered the body, and his pupils instantly dilated. It fell to the ground with a bang. The lion majesty of Orochimaru has spread throughout the courtyard, and any enemy that appears will be instantly killed. After all, Mu-yun in front of him is just a clone of the body just like the one in Sunagaku. Chakra is limited. Before the matter is finished, if you can save, try to save as much as possible. After a while, Mu-yun discovered his goal. Uchiha Sasuke is preparing to evacuate Konoha in the room. At this time, Sasuke is less than 10 years old and has not even graduated from the ninja school. In Mu-yun's eyes, there was no threat at all. As soon as his body moved, he instantly appeared in front of Sasuke. At the moment when he didn't react at all, he pinched his neck and lifted him in the air. In the Scarlet Sharingan, a huge pupil power burst out instantly. Under Mu Yun's Sharingan, Sasuke has no room for resistance. I fell into the illusion for an instant, and the hands that grabbed Mu Yun fell weakly. At this time, Mu Yun's perception ability has been used to its limit. However, no Indra chakra was found in Sasuke's body. All were cultivated by himself, regular chakra. Moreover, the amount is particularly small. Mu Yun frowned deeply, and left Sasuke on his side. Naruto and Sasuke are the reincarnations of Ashura and Indra's chakra. This is not wrong. However, there is no Indra chakra in Sasuke's body now. Is it because his strength is not enough? The Uchiha Madara back then started Rinnegan only when he was old. Could it be that only when the strength reaches a certain level, the chakra in their bodies will be awakened? Only this one explained. It seems that we still have to wait. But it doesn't matter. After all, the eternal Mangekyo's pupil power that belongs to him has not been found yet. It is too early to absorb chakra from Indra and Ashura. Orochimaru, Sasuke will be taken away by you, and I will look after him. Before I come back, I must ensure that he is always by your side. Although there is no threat to Sasuke now. But he and Naruto shouldn't be together. Orochimaru glanced at Sasuke on the ground, and the snake's eyes flashed with joy. Although I don't know why Mu Yun values this Uchiha's child so much. But certainly not for the blood of the Uchiha clan. And, listening to what he meant, he seemed to be going somewhere soon. However, these things are not his concern. He only needs to keep Sasuke firmly on his mind before Mu Yun returns. As long as you do this well, you will definitely get Mu Yun's favor. Teach him the forbidden technique that was lost during the Sengoku period. At this moment, a vague chakra came from the depths of Konoha in an instant. Mu Yun instantly felt a sense of familiarity. Orochimaru, you take Sasuke first. You don't need to intervene in the battlefield. After speaking, Mu Yun's figure disappeared instantly. In the Konoha cemetery, Uchiha Kaharu and Mitokado Homura are sitting alone in wheelchairs. There was no trace of light around, and even the moonlight in the sky had been obscured by thin clouds. 2 scrolls were spreading flat in front of them, with some sticky things on them. 2 villagers who had been unconscious were lying in front of the scroll, with their hands tied behind them. Shall we do this really okay? Is there any other way? Konoha has reached the point of life and death, and if you still stick to these summaries, Konoha will really perish. Mitokado Homura let out a long sigh, the wrinkles on his face squeezed deeply together. If there were other ways, he didn't want to blaspheme immortals. However, in the face of the siege of the 3 kingdoms, Konoha has no way to come back. This is the last hope. Mitokado Homura's hands trembled with several handprints. Put your hands together, and chakra in your body instantly gushes out. Impure World Reincarnation Technique. A complicated technique rushed out of the ground in an instant. Countless debris like dust was instantly stripped from the ground and covered the bodies of the 2 villagers. What? Forehead. The unconscious villagers were instantly awakened by severe pain. There were 2 heart-piercing screams. It sounds a bit creepy. After a while, 2 figures appeared in front of them. One was wearing dark red armor, and his black hair reached his waist. The other was wearing blue armor, but with white hair. Although they have completely different faces and personalities, they are true brothers. Konoha's first Hokage is known as Senju Hashirama, the god of ninja. Konoha's second Hokage, known as Uchiha's natural nemesis, developed numerous Senju Tobirama forbidden techniques. Seeing the 2 figures, Mitokado Homura and Uchiha Kaharu in wheelchairs trembled with excitement. Both legs, which had long been crippled, struggled to stand up again. Senju Hashirama's eyes slowly opened, and he glanced at the surroundings curiously. Here, is it Konoha? I really want to see my Hokage rock. Oh, Tobirama, your face is beside me. Senju Tobirama's eyes opened instantaneously, with a sharp aura in his eyes. Shut up, brother, I have my own eyes. After Konoha swept his eyes around, it instantly fell on Mitokado Homura. Are you, Homura and Kaharu? As soon as he claimed, the 2 elderly consultants shed tears in an instant. Master 2nd generation. We are sorry Konoha. Seeing the former teacher, even the 2 consultants who were over half 100 years old couldn't help crying. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo, who have died in Lenovo Road, felt even more sad in their hearts. Senju Tobarama's face changed instantly. He remembered the rules left when creating impure world reincarnation. Summoning the dead souls to the ninja world is the greatest blasphemy for the dead. Using living people as sacrifices is even more taboo. If it is not for Konoha to reach the critical moment of death, you must not use impure world reincarnation. Thinking of this, Senju Tobarama's eyes widened instantly. Could it be that Konoha is facing this kind of crisis now? At this moment, a sharp blade of light flashed in front of his eyes. Mitokado Homura and Uchiha Kaharu were in front of Hashirama and Tobarama. In an instant, they were frozen into two ice sculptures by a biting cold air. Suddenly burst into ice mist in the sky. The pupils of the two shrank fiercely, and their faces were instantly filled with a thick color of astonishment. This bitter cold reminded them of their opponents. No, it should be said that it was their former natural enemy. Back then, the demon that almost exhausted all the power of the ninja world to reluctantly seal it. A tall and straight figure appeared in front of the two people in an instant. One foot smashed a frozen severed hand on the ground. Hiranmaru held it upside down in his hand, with a mocking smile on the corner of his mouth. In a pair of scarlet Sharingan, there is an extremely cold killing intent. 2. Long time no see. Asterisk. The moment Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama were reincarnated, Muyun felt a familiar chakra. However, this kind of familiar chakra is full of disgusting breath. When Muyun rushed over, he happened to see Mitokado Homura and Uchiha Kaharu using impure world reincarnation. However, the two obviously didn't know enough about this forbidden technique. The living sacrifices used were just ordinary villagers. In this way, even if the two are successfully summoned, their strength will not be maximized. Even, most of the power will be reduced. Summon Hashirama and Tobarama to deal with Konoha's crisis. A lingering smile flickered at the corner of Muyun's mouth. The killing intent in a pair of Sharingan is full of ultimate. That's good, and by the way, Hashirama can see the destruction of the village he built. Just take it back a little interest for the things of the year. Impure world reincarnation is launched. The souls of Hashirama and Tobarama were replaced by the souls of two villagers from the Pure Land. The body has also become what they are. It's just that there are many cracks on the surface of the body, like a porcelain doll about to break. At this moment, Muyun shot Homura and Uchiha Kaharu instantly. Carrying Sennin's killing intent, he stood in front of the two. Two people, is the life in Pure Land still satisfactory? After seeing Muyun's figure, Hashirama's face instantly filled with a thick layer of consternation. Even a pair of eyes lost because of impure world reincarnation are widened to the limit. Uchiha Muan, you came out. Even Senju Tobarama, who has always been known for his calmness, oozes a thin layer of cold sweat on his forehead. With a sound, chakra has been fully mobilized, ready to fight at any time. Since he can break the seal, it proves that the Uchiha clan has been annihilated. Uchiha Muan is the last Uchiha clan. Moreover, in that era, he almost became the existence second only to Sage of Six Paths. In the entire ninja world, no one is his opponent alone. All the families were terrified of Uchiha back then because of his relationship. Even, many civilians have worshipped Muan as a god. Even being able to seal him in the end has a lot of luck. I saw him again, even Konoha's first generation and second Hokage. There was a pang of tension in my heart. Uchiha Muan, where are the people in the village? Senju Tobarama is a perception-type ninja, who perceives the entire Konoha village in an instant. However, there are only a few ninjas in the village, and the others are civilians. This discovery instantly made Senju Tobarama a cold sweat. Could it be said that Konoha village has been destroyed by him? The village. After today, there will be no more Konoha village. Muyun smiled coldly, in the surprised eyes of the two. The whole body instantly burst into a cloud of smoke and dissipated. Clone, Tobarama, shut up, brother, I'm feeling it. After hearing Muyun's words, Hashirama and Tobarama's hearts became tense. Konoha village was empty, but Uchiha Muan broke the seal. Wouldn't it be that he killed all the villagers? After a while, Tobarama's eyes opened instantly. Reach in the direction of the Valley of the End. Over there is a very strong chakra reaction. Uchiha Muan is among them, and there are three tail beasts. Senju Hashirama was taken aback for a moment, frowning tightly together. Could it be that the ninja world war has begun again? Tobarama, do you feel it? Senju Tobarama let out a hum, and squeezed his fist firmly with his palm. It may be that I don't understand the reasons for impure world reincarnation. The sacrifices that summon us may be the lowest ranking sacrifices, and the strength has been greatly restricted. However, I also felt that Uchiha Muan's power is not complete just now. Neither his wood style nor the eternal Mangekyo's pupil power have been recovered. Compared to ours, his weakness may be more serious. However, Muan's strength is too strong. Even if the strength was weakened a lot, only the long knife that freezes everything and slays the soul. He was scary enough. The moment they appeared, they killed Mitokado Homura, who was a surgeon. I just want to make the impure world reincarnation technique impossible to dissolve, and use Zanpakuto to wipe out all their souls. Not even the chance of returning to the Pure Land was left to them. Uchiha Muan's hatred for them was clear in their hearts. Now, it is to fight the unfinished battle that year. It's just that this time there is no Whirlpool family around them, nor the help of the Sarutobi family. There are only two people who can't even exert their strength completely. Senju Tobarama put his palm on Hashirama's body and sighed slightly. Possibly, the monkeys should not be allowed to suppress Uchiha back then. Unexpectedly, this guy actually released this kind of monster. The entire history of shinobi must be rewritten. As soon as the shadow clone dissipated, Muan, who was sitting cross-legged, opened his eyes instantly. Behind him, the people of Akatsuki's organization stood out. Even the elders appeared in his special wheelchair, and behind him stood Six Paths Pain, which had been repaired intact. They have been waiting here for nearly an hour, waiting for Muan's order. They are now less than 5 kilometers away from the Valley of End. The flames on the battlefield can already clearly reflect the figures of several people. The corner of Muan's mouth showed a faint smile. Hiranmaru's blade was lying abruptly on his knees. Hashirama, Tobarama, witness the village you built dissipate in front of your eyes. Suddenly got up, the knife flashed, and instantly inserted back to his waist. Konoha collapse plan, start. As soon as his voice fell, the Akatsuki organization behind him immediately got up and rushed to the battlefield. Even Nagato, under the support of Pen Six Paths, wanted to rush in the direction of the Valley of End. Their task is to slaughter all Konoha's ninjas. As for Senju Hashirama, it is better to solve them by themselves. A cold light flashed in the Scarlet Sharingan. The figure disappeared instantly. Battlefield in the Valley of the End. The densely packed ninja forces almost blocked the entire valley surrounded by water. The 3 ninja villages, Cloud Shinobi, Mist Shinobi, and Sand Shinobi, all used Konoha as an enemy under the planning of Muan. The 3 parties joined forces to defeat Konoha's ninja. Even Konoha has a lot of powerful family power. However, in the face of triple-strength enemy forces, they still retreat steadily. The dead and wounded are countless. A member of the Hyuga clan, with a single blow of the 8 trigrams air palm, all the flying shurikens flew. With both hands connected, 8 trigrams 64 palms instantly sealed all the acupuncture points of the enemy in front of them. Let him use chakra without a trace. However, a sharp point of the knife also came out in the next second. Instantly evacuated all the power in his body. Mist Shinobi ninja holding a knife, his face is full of resentment, and the handle of the knife in his hand presses down forcefully. Instantly split this Hyuga ninja in half. With a handful of blood, the Mist Shinobi was drunk instantly, and his whole body was dyed blood red. Mist Shinobi, the sinister villain who killed Konoha, shame. With his loud shout, the severity of the entire war escalated again. There are more than Konoha shinobi, under the erosion of desperation. I don't want to go back alive anymore, I just want to kill more enemies. The wounded body was covered with detonation charms. The sharp ninja is also poisoned. The shot is completely a life-for-life dismissal, and when you are about to die, you will directly detonate the detonating talisman on your body. Boom, boom, boom. The violent explosions sounded one after another. Sparks of blood and flames bloomed throughout the battlefield. In the corner where no one noticed, Uchiha Muan was sitting cross-legged. Zanpakuto Hiranmaru is lying horizontally on his knees, his eyes are full of fighting spirit. He has no interest in the tragic war that is going on before him. He was just waiting for the appearance of two old friends. In just 10 minutes, Konoha's deaths and injuries have reached an astonishing 1,000 people. At this moment, several figures wearing red cloud windbreakers also appeared on the battlefield instantly behind Mu Yun. Everyone's skills are much better than the ordinary elite Jonin. The mountain city Aoba, who was fighting in blood, caught a glimpse of one of them. The whole face was filled with a strong consternation in an instant. That's Mist Shinobi's 7 ninja swordsman, Shizuo Shizo. And Sand Shinobi's genius puppet master, Sasori of the Red Sand. Kakuzu, the undead ninja, the rebel of Takigakura village. These people, even the entire ninja world, are rebels with names and surnames. He committed heinous crimes and was wanted by various countries. Now, these people actually came to the battlefield, slaughtering Konoha's ninja. Why? Yamashiro Aoba's heart was filled with huge questions in an instant. I always feel that in this war, there is an invisible force behind it. The purpose is to make Konoha disappear from the ninja world. Many things have become clear to this point. Even Reikage, who was impulsive and irritable, noticed something was wrong. Mist Shinobi and Sand Shinobi have no reason to fight Konoha at this time. Even if it is to snatch the territory of the country of fire, just wait for Cloud Shinobi to capture Konoha. At that time, Cloud Shinobi's power will also be damaged. In the face of Shinobu village, which belongs to the same 5 major countries, part of the territory will be ceded to them. There is no need to send troops at this time. By wooden golem, don't play, break through Konoha's defense as soon as possible. Although I don't know who has such a great ability, he can count the 4 major countries among them. However, since the war has reached this point, there is no possibility of an armistice. Reikage's figure moved for a moment, and his body flashed with joy. He came to Jiraiya's side in an instant. A fist that flashed this strong electric light was shot out in an instant. Case Konoha is now supported by the toads of Jiraiya and Mount Myoboku. As long as you kill them, Konoha will lose instantly. A small white fist ran into him instantly. Boom. Reikage's figure flew back in an instant, and his feet rubbed 2 long marks on the ground. His face was full of intense anger, and both mustaches were lifted from his face. Tsunade, Konoha is dead, do you still have to resist? Now, Konoha's ninjas have almost reached the final juncture. Only the powerful of the big family can barely support under the siege of the 3 kingdoms. Almost all the other ordinary ninjas have been driven to extinction. He didn't even conceal the sticky blood plasma on the ground, and his sight was scarlet. Tsunade's face was terrible. Watching Konoha's ninja being slaughtered, her heart was dripping blood. Konoha is a village established by his grandfather, and he must not be destroyed in his own hands. He raised his head suddenly and yelled in Reikage's direction. Even if Konoha village is destroyed, even if the country of fire falls, the will of fire will never be broken. One day, the green leaves born in the heart will once again cover the entire forest and stand forever in the world of shinobi. At this time, Killer Bee and Wooden Golem have also been completely beasts. 2 huge-tailed beast bombs condense in the mouth instantly. Distribute this strong chakra fluctuation. Reikage's face was also full of anger. Even if this war is really mobilized by someone who is interested, Konoha must also be conquered. Otherwise, how can you be worthy of the dead ninja of Cloud Shinobi? Then you can destroy it with Konoha. Boom. 2-tailed beast bombs shot out in an instant, and the huge power lifted everything along the way. After leaving 2 deep gullies on the ground, they appeared in front of Tsunade instantly. Not good. Seeing this scene, Jiraiya instantly broke out in a cold sweat. With 2-tailed beast bombs, Tsunade has no way to stop them. Just thinking about helping Tsunade in the past, 6 paths appeared beside him. The 12 Rinnegan, all staring at him, were full of great pressure. Ms. Jiraiya, don't come here unharmed. Tsunade's face was full of determination, and he straightened his back toward the tailed beast bomb. Neither overbearing nor overbearing. There was even a nostalgic smile at the corner of his mouth. Sway, Nawaki, grandfather, we will meet again. Eyes, slowly closed. Wood-style birthday of the tree world. Flying thunder god technique. Boom, boom. 2 violent explosions spread across the entire battlefield in an instant. The air wave set off by the tailed beast bomb almost blew all the ninjas nearby. Even the waterfall in the valley of the end stopped flowing in an instant. A large amount of water was swept into the air, bursting into countless drops of water scattered. Tsunade's eyes slowly opened, and he looked at the man standing in front of her in disbelief. In front of Tsunade, a man in red armor was standing. With his hands stretched forward, a large number of thick trees burst out of the soil in an instant. Among them, there is a large amount of chakra, which is much stronger than ordinary trees. The tailed beast bomb of 8 Tails Killer Bee was reduced by countless layers of trees. There was not much power left when it finally exploded, and it did not cause any damage to Tsunade at all. Seeing the back of the man in front of him, Tsunade felt a sense of relief in his heart. It seemed that as long as he was there, all problems would be solved easily. In the midst of the sawdust flying in the sky, Senju Hashirama looked back at Tsunade, with a confident and sunny smile on his face. As it was in the past. The excitement caused the pupils in Tsunade's eyes to shake violently. Ozuna, are you feeling lucky recently? The touch on Tsunade's face instantly disappeared, and he snarled at Hashirama furiously. Grandfather, now Konoha is facing a huge crisis in history, can you be more serious on the battlefield? In addition to the god of ninja, Senju Hashirama is also a famous gambler in the entire ninja. When Tsunade was young, he got gambling problems. Even after Senju Hashirama died, he did not give up. During the years outside Konoha, I owed a gambling debt. It was Jiraiya who helped him return it. After Hashirama was yelled by Tsunade, he turned around with a serious face. It's completely different from the cute look when I was a child. With such a big temper, I wonder if anyone dares to marry. At this moment, Senju Tobarama's figure also appeared next to the completely beasted wooden golem. The huge-tailed beast bomb hit Erway's body instantly. Back to you. Boom. The tailed beast bomb exploded instantly, blasting both tails back a long way. Smashed hard on the rock wall of the Valley of End. Whoosh. Tobarama's figure returned to Hashirama again. A right arm has disappeared, and countless debris is appearing out of thin air to repair his body. It is worthy of being the most powerful attack power of the tailed beast, that is, using Flying Thunder God technique to pass it. The entire right arm also burst because it couldn't bear the powerful energy. The violent explosion of the tailed beast bomb made the entire battlefield focus on the two of them. After seeing the two of them clearly, the entire battlefield broke out in exclamation. Is that Konoha's first Hokage, Senju Hashirama, who is also known as the god of the ninja world? The powerful tailed beast bomb was easily blocked by him. Impossible, such an old monster is still alive now. I heard that Konoha has a forbidden technique called Impure World Reincarnation, which can summon dead souls from the Pure Land back to the ninja world and resurrect them. This should be the forbidden technique. Forbidden technique that can resurrect the dead. In that case, wouldn't Konoha summon all the ancestors? Senju Hashirama's fame is too big in the entire ninja world. Who doesn't know the name of the god of ninja world? In addition, the shock brought by the taboo technique that can revive the dead. Suddenly, the entire battlefield stopped the war. All the ninjas looked up at Hashirama's figure, their eyes full of fear. Only in Konoha's team, there was an unprecedented shout. It's Master First Hokage and Master Second Hokage, Konoha is saved. It's so fortunate to be able to fight alongside Hyundai Hokage. Even if you die, it's worth it. Such a powerful tailed beast bomb was easily resolved in front of the two Hokages. Is this the strength of the ancestors? In the heart of Konoha Shinobi, there is a glimmer of hope again. As long as Hyundai Hokage takes the shot, Konoha will surely survive this crisis. Only Jiraiya's face was not very good. The forbidden technique of impure world reincarnation was also studied by Orochimaru. If you want to use this forbidden technique, you need a living person to make sacrifices. Has Konoha fallen to the point of using this cruel method to save the village? Even the expression on Reikage's face was full of seriousness, and the eyes looking at Senju Hashirama and Tobarama were full of alert. Order all subordinates to stop and stop. Facing the god of the ninja world, this kind of strength can't play a role at all. It is necessary to use high-end combat power to quickly resolve the two of them. At this moment, Uchiha Muan, who was sitting in the distance, slowly got up. The Hashirama in his hand flashed the cold light of the sword. Even the corners of his mouth burst out with a smile of anticipation. After being sealed for 60 years, I can finally get back a little interest. The figure jumped, and instantly appeared in the air. A sharp knife light flashed by in an instant. Seeing Mu Yun's movements, Hashirama immediately folded his hands together. The chakra in the body was released without reservation. Wood style. Wood expulsion jutsu. A huge wooden human face mask, instantly pouring from the ground. Wrap him tightly with Senju Tobarama and Tsunade. A lot of cold air broke out in an instant. The huge grimace mask was instantly covered with a dense layer of frost. In the next second, it suddenly burst into ice fog. Hashirama's pupils shrank severely, and his face was full of surprise. Tobarama, this guy's strength doesn't seem to be weakened. With our current strength, I am afraid there is no way to help him. Cold sweat fell from the two foreheads. They weren't Mu Yun's opponents back then, and the body of Impure World Reincarnation now is not as good as their own back then. I can only do my best to stop Mu Yun's footsteps. At this moment, Tobarama suddenly felt a pain in his waist. The entire body was instantly cut into two by the sharp blade. Even the surprise on his face was too late to take it back. When Mu Yun's left eye slowly retracted Kamui's pupil power. The blade of the blade instantly shattered the body of second generation into a sky full of ice. Even Senju Hashirama on the side was shocked. His perception ability is not good enough, far inferior to Tobarama. Even he failed to file Mu Yun's cut. There was a layer of frost on Hashirama's face instantly. Has this guy really been sealed for 60 years? How does it feel more cruel than before? The hands were folded instantly, and a large amount of chakra spewed out from it. Wood-style technique. Although Hashirama and Tobarama are far less powerful than before, Mu Yun's strength is also far from the peak. Especially his eternal Mangekyo's pupil power has not been recovered yet. Let his strength drop by more than half that year. However, with Kamui's surprise, and Hashirama's strong coldness to the ultimate, you can still kill Tobarama instantly. Of course, Mu Yun did not use Hashirama's ability to kill the soul. It was too cheap to kill him with just one cut. Let them see the Konoha village created by one hand with their own eyes, and it will be destroyed before their eyes. Death, full of despair and regret, is the greatest revenge against them. The corner of his mouth grinned, and the knife cut out again. Hashirama's wooden dragon was instantly frozen into ice by the cold air, bursting into ice mist in the sky. Senju Hashirama bit his finger in an instant, and, 49-7, slapped his hands on the ground. Summoning Rashomon, a huge grimace gate suddenly emerged from the ground. All the cold air released by Hashirama was blocked. Mu Yun, so many years have passed, and it is now the age of the younger generation. Let him pass the things that happened back then. Hashirama stepped on the Rashomon, his face full of helplessness. Looking at Mu Yun in front of him, he felt even more crazy than before. During the Sengoku period, he once led his subordinates to sweep almost all the families. Wherever they go, they are accompanied by this killing and blood. Under the name of the legendary ninja that shook the world of ninja, he was identified by countless bones. The ninja who died in his hands could almost form a small country. This is why he became a public enemy of the ninja world. But now, when he wakes up again, Hashirama feels that Mu Yun is even more crazy. Jingran used his own power to provoke a war in the ninja world, involve many countries, and turn the Valley of End into a blood-filled Shira field. Just to avenge Konoha. This kind of reason is ridiculous in Hashirama's eyes. At this moment, Tobarama, who had turned into a piece of ice, also slowly recovered under Impure World Reincarnation. There was no scar on the whole body. Brother, Uchiha is a naturally evil race. Only by killing them all can the ninja world truly calm down. After hearing Senju Tobarama's words, a smile appeared on Mu Yun's mouth. The Sengoku period was extremely chaotic. Every day, new families rose up and old families fell. Between families, fierce battles often erupt due to territories and resources. Death is happening all the time. At that time, neither Uchiha nor Senju were strong clans. The strongest are the sons of Sage of Six Paths, the descendants of Otsutsuki Ashura and Otsutsuki Indra. Shang Senju, Uchiha, Hyuga and other families, in their eyes, are just lowly subsidiary races. Other people who don't have any family blood are even more humble in their eyes. The descendants of Ashura and Indra continue the contradiction between the ancestors. Every time a war starts, it will affect the surrounding families. Even many families were inadvertently involved in the war between the two sides and were destroyed by the two clans. At that time, the entire ninja world was afraid of the power of the two clans, and did not dare to defy their orders in the slightest. Later, Uchiha Muan was born. Holding Zanpakuto Hiranmaru, 10 powerful subordinates followed, uniting the major families and destroying these two major families in one fell swoop, and Uchiha's reputation became known. However, losing the ninja world of unified enemies, once again fell into conflict. After countless baptisms of blood and fire, Muan finally understood. As long as there are families, the battle in the ninja world will not stop. Only with absolute strength can the entire ninja world be unified. Let the big families intermarry and dilute the differences between families. The entire ninja world can usher in true peace. For this goal, he has been fighting in the ninja world for many years. What ushered in was betrayal. Even Uchiha Madara, who is a fellow clan, disagrees with his ideas and teamed up with outsiders to seal him. 60 years have been so long, and his hatred has increased day by day. Hashirama actually wanted to resolve his hatred with just one sentence. Dream. With a movement of his wrist, the sharp tip of the knife burst into a bitter chill. The moisture in the surrounding air was instantly condensed into tiny ice masses by the turbulent cold air, 0. Slowly falling from the sky. The white frost came out from under Muyan's feet. In just an instant, it spread to the entire battlefield. The waterfall in the valley of the end was directly frozen by the cold. The blood on the ground also condensed into ice. Even the corpse in the bottom of the valley was covered with a layer of cold hoarfrost. The temperature in the entire space dropped instantly, and everyone felt a deep chill in their hearts. Reikage's eyes widened to the limit, and his face looked incredible at the changes in the surrounding environment. Even the soles of his feet were frozen to the ground by the frost. If you move it, it will make a creaking sound. The eyes that looked at Muyan were filled with horror. This is the strength of Uchiha, the strongest in Sengoku period. Will be able to instantly rewrite the surrounding environment. Even wherever it is achieved, it is a white frost. This kind of power has completely exceeded the range of ordinary ninjas. It's totally God. 4th Mizukage Yagura has also recovered his human form at this moment. The eyes were also full of deep consternation and fear. The extremely powerful ice escape makes his water style useless at all. The currents of Taotao and water condense into ice in an instant, and they are the nemesis of water-style ninjas. Moreover, what makes him most concerned is that Uchiha Muyan is also a member of the Uchiha clan. The Scarlet Sharingan made him feel a familiar pupil power inexplicably. Could it be that the eye that controls me belongs to him? At this moment, Onoki, far away at the border of Rock Shinobi, saw the white in his field of vision. The pupils in his eyes shrank fiercely, and the clothes of the younger generation were instantly soaked in cold sweat. That kind of extreme chill, no one but that person will have it. This war was indeed his plan. Onoki looked up at the clear and dark sky, and pressed down the ultimate fear in his heart. This is the war of the entire ninja world, and no one can stay out of it. Rock Shinobi must join the war. Even if the 5 great nations are destroyed, we must stop this ambitious demon. The bitter chill made everyone on the battlefield tremble. Even with Jiraiya's strength, he felt cold, and the bones all over his body were faintly aching. The eyes that looked at Muyan were full of shocking and inexplicable colors. Is this the strength of Uchiha, the strongest in the Sengoku period? It can change the surrounding weather. Even the toad on his shoulder shivered with cold. The eyes looking at Muyan were full of surprise and fear. This person is the person from the Sengoku period. Toad Zima on the other side was also shocked. My boy, is this the person the older Toad Sage is talking about? The bitter chill that spreads across the battlefield, the unceasing ice blade, and the Scarlet Sharingan, you can't go wrong, it's the person in the mouth of Toad Sage. The dialogue between the two is simple and quick, but their expressions are full of deep fear. Jiraiya was at a loss and couldn't understand what the two of them said. Master Shen Zuo, is that person you are talking about, Uchiha Muan? Hearing Jiraiya's words, Toad Shenzuo instantly turned his head to look at him. A green toad face was full of fear. It's him, you can't be wrong. He will always remember that. In one afternoon, Toad Sage suddenly woke up from his sleep, covered in cold sweat. It seemed to be a horrible scene in a dream. As long as the Toad of Mount Myoboku knows, the dream of Toad Sage is very predictable. Many of the dreams he had have become reality. At that time, it was the most terrifying nightmare. In the dream of Toad Sage, the 3 holy places of the ninja world are all over a sea of fire. Even Miyamoyamanaka is frozen for thousands of miles and set in flames. All the toads struggled hard in the ice and flames. The entire Mount Myoboku collapsed in an instant. It was a tall man who caused all this. His black hair was flying freely, and he was holding a cold sword. This war and death are reflected in a pair of scarlet Sharingan. The whole body is filled with the chill of freezing everything. Toad Sage immediately summoned all the toads in Mount Myoboku and told the foreknowledge. One day, the 3 holy places will be destroyed by a dream demon with black hair and red eyes. That man master has the power of ice, snow and flames, as well as the ability to affect people's hearts. There will be no one in the entire ninja world, opponent. After listening to Toad's in-depth description, Jiraiya instantly left a fine cold sweat on her face. With black hair and red eyes, the power of the master's ice, snow and flames can also affect people's hearts. This is Uchiha Muan. Powerful ice done, Uchiha's natural fire style control, and Sharingan that can affect people's hearts. All signs can explain the man who destroyed the 3 holy places in the dream of Toad Sage. It is Uchiha Muan. At this moment, Muan, who was confronting Hashirama and Tobirama, inadvertently gave a warning in this direction. In an instant, the toad shed a cold sweat. Little Jiraiya, Toad Sage must be notified about this. Xiaowen, Xiaojian, Xiaoguang, you quickly go back to Mount Myoboku and report the situation here to Toad Sage. The 3 main giants of Mount Myoboku instantly burst into a cloud of smoke and returned to Mount Myoboku. Toad Shensaku said to Jiraiya again, in this war, we must do our best to get rid of Uchiha Muan, and we must not let the Holy Land bear any risk. Jiraiya nodded, knowing the seriousness of the matter. The 3 immortals have existed thousands of years ago and have never received any threats. Even the Ninja World War would not affect the 3 holy places. Unexpectedly, Toad Sage actually predicted that Uchiha Muan would destroy it. However, it now appears that he has no reason to destroy the 3 holy places. He now hates Konoha only. Is there any unknown purpose in it? Jiraiya's heart jumped inexplicably, always feeling like she was missing something. After thinking about it carefully, I didn't find anything wrong. The last time he was hurt by Muyan's soul, he would find that many memories disappeared in his mind. This situation has been going on for some time, and he didn't take it seriously. The biggest problem now is to protect Konoha village under the hands of Uchiha Muan. After witnessing Muyan's strength, both Cloud Shinobi and Mist Shinobi who attacked Konoha stopped their attacks. Only Sand Shinobi refused to stop without knowing why. Still on the offensive frenzy. Even Ebizo, who is over 100 years old, followed in the crowd to attack. The puppet he controls is already covered with the blood of Konoha Shinobi. Some Sand Shinobi noticed something was wrong and wanted to stop temporarily. Both were directly killed by Chiyo and Ebizo, and brutally suppressed them with bloody means. Today, the Konoha Shinobi village must be breached. Everyone will attack me, and I am not allowed to retreat. Although Sand Shinobi were puzzled in their hearts, they were even more afraid of Chiyo's strength. In desperation, he can only continue to attack. Among them, there are some ninjas who lost their relatives in the war with Konoha, but they are enthusiastic about Chiyo. Some people even attacked with tears in their eyes. Rosha's conservativeness has made them fed up, and today finally avenged Konoha under the leadership of Chiyo's. Let the hatred accumulated in their hearts burst out in an instant. Kill Konoha is awful. Konoha, I killed my parents back then, and today I will kill you Konoha. Vengeance for the dead companions. Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobirama watched Sand Shinobi ninjas with their own eyes, and a group of ninjas wearing red cloud trench coats slaughtering Konoha. A pair of eyes became blood red from the heartache. In the sight of Muyan, there is this deep hatred. I wish I could eat its meat raw and drink its blood. Mu-yun really admired the misery of Konoha shinobi with relish. Seeing a lot of blood soaked, a corpse fell down. There was no pity in his eyes. Senju Tobirama, now you know your heartache. Tobirama's expression instantly became extremely fierce. A pair of red eyes are like wild beasts, and they can't wait to swallow Mu-yun alive. Seeing him like this, Mu-yun let out a chuckle, and slowly pulled out Hiranmaru from his waist. When you slaughtered my subordinate family back then, you thought that their family would also feel heartache. With a flick of his wrist, a sharp blade of light instantly fell on the ground. Directly in the camp of the Konoha shinobi, it bursts. The two brothers Senju Hashirama saw Konoha's ninja being mercilessly slaughtered. The anger in the heart is almost igniting the whole person. Because of Ultimate's anger, a pair of eyes burst into bloodshot eyes. In the pupils, like the eyes of a beast, they were red. However, Mu-yun stood beside them, as long as they dared to rescue the Konoha shinobi. Mu-yun will take action, making Konoha's loss even more serious. They didn't kill their souls just for this moment. They must be able to see the village they created with their own eyes and be destroyed right in front of their own eyes. Those ninjas who believed in them and believed in Hokage died before their eyes. The screams of life on the verge of death came one after another, making both their faces pale. Seeing Senju Tobirama's grief, Mu-yun's heart was filled with joy. He waved his hand and threw out a sharp sword gas, which instantly exploded in Konoha's camp. The unusually strong cold air instantly froze all the surrounding Konoha shinobi in it. Sasori of the Red Sand controlled hundreds of puppets and rushed past, and everyone who was enclosed by the ice shattered into ice all over the ground in a flash. There is not even a drop of blood in the body that can keep flowing. Seeing the misery of Konoha shinobi, Tobirama gritted his teeth angrily, rubbing his fists. Uchiha, Mu-yun, you must die. A hostile spirit flashed across Tobirama's face, and a quick seal between his hands, a large amount of chakra spewed out in an instant. Darkness technique. As soon as his voice fell, the night in the sky became more and more intense. Even the distant starlight was instantly covered by a black light curtain. The surrounding space was plunged into a piece of darkness, with no trace of light visible. The darkness, out of sight of the five fingers, wrapped Uchiha Mu-yun round and round. The eyes seemed to be deprived of sight, and nothing could be seen at all. There was a mocking smile at the corner of Mu-yun's mouth. This kind of thing similar to enchantment ninjutsu is actually just a kind of illusion. It just feels like some kind of enchantment. Tobirama's attacks are all very deceptive. He is good at giving a fatal blow to the enemy when he is most confident and thinks he will definitely win. But, playing illusion in front of me. This guy wouldn't be stupid in the Pure Land, right? The Scarlet Sharingan spins rapidly, and a burst of majestic pupil power instantly gushes out. Like half of the rising sun, it instantly tore the surrounding darkness. As soon as I saw the surrounding scene clearly, I saw Tobirama stepping on a huge water dragon bomb and rushing towards him at great speed. On the other side, Hashirama also stepped on the wooden cage, and his stomach was hunting under the cold wind. Both hands quickly knotted their fingerprints, and a large amount of chakra instantly condensed. Water-style water-severing wave. Wood-style great forest technique. The fierce water burst out from Tobirama's mouth in an instant. The air along the way was instantly torn away. Dozens of huge tree trunks also shot out from Hashirama's palm. Went around Mu-yun's body. This is to be bound by Hashirama's tree to the trunk, and is being cut by the water-severing wave. Even Mu-yun has no chance of survival. Innocent. With a flick of his wrist, the sharp Zanpakuto instantly cut the trunk in Hashirama's hand. Several handprints were formed with one hand, and a large amount of chakra instantly condensed in the mouth. Fire style. Flying fire shooting star. Bang, bang. A round of bullet-like fireballs instantly smashed Tobirama's water-severing wave. Hit his body with a few holes that penetrated back and forth. The bitter cold air instantly freezes the water dragon bomb directly. Collided with the wooden dragon at the feet of Hashirama. Boom! A huge muffled sound instantly sounded in the air. A large amount of sawdust and crushed ice shot out all around under the huge impact. The ninjas who were too close to them were all marked by sharp wooden thorns and solid ice with bloody mouths with deep bones. Quickly, don't get close to them. Be careful, that's not a battle we can intervene. The surrounding ninjas were instantly affected by the battle of several people. Even a Kurigaker ninja almost died. This is crazy, then it's too early for you to be crazy. At the corner of Mu-Yun's mouth, a hideous smile appeared. The rapid formation of seals between the hands, a large amount of chakra instantly condensed into the air. Fire-style Bengo Liaoyuan. Boom! A large group of fierce flames burst out in the direction of the Konoha shinobi in an instant. Containing the wind attribute chakra's fire style, the strong flame instantly burst into a sea of fire in midair. Instantly covered the sky above Konoha shinobi. In the Scarlet Sharingan, a burst of powerful pupil force burst out instantly. Amaterasu. Hum. A little black light suddenly appeared from the sea of fire. Suddenly burst into countless black sparks, instantly flooding the sea of scorching fire. After doing all this, Mu-Yun smiled faintly at the two of them. Witness Konoha's destruction with your own eyes. The monstrous flames almost filled the entire sky. All Konoha shinobi are under the monstrous flames. The burning breath had already made everyone sweat, and the exposed skin was reddened by the flames. Yamashiro Aoba suddenly took off the sunglasses on his face and stared at the sea of fire in the sky. Even the pupils in the eye sockets were shaking violently. His face was full of horror. This powerful ninjutsu was enough to burn most of Konoha's ninjas alive. Once it falls, Konoha village will be removed from the top 5 countries. Naraluju on the side was also full of horror. Mono Jiao and Jayan's hands were loosened and held. I can't think of any ninjutsu that can block this kind of attack. Water-style water dragon bomb technique. A water dragon soared into the sky, and instantly broke through the sky. However, the body of the water dragon was also stained with the dark Amaterasu fire. The eternal black flame burned blazingly above the water dragon's body. The towering water dragon instantly burst into rainwater in the sky, mixed with a little black flame falling from the sky. Once a ninja comes into contact with rainwater with black inflammation, he will instantly burn his entire body. After a while, it was directly incinerated into a handful of black ashes. What? Help! What kind of fire is this? Even water can burn. The screams of dying screamed resounded across the battlefield in an instant. Everyone who heard it turned pale, and his heart was full of fear and despair. Chapter 51. The scorching flames almost covered half of the valley of the end in it. As far as I can see, it is hot and hot. Countless Konoha ninjas struggled in pain in the burning flames, screaming screams. Even some cloud shinobi and mist shinobi ninjas who could not be evacuated were contaminated by thick flames. In an instant, it was burned to a plume of fly ash. Even the kunai in his hand was screaming under the burning of black inflammation. After a while, it was short. You devil! Senju Hashirama no longer expected to persuade Mu-Yun with words. This kind of bloodthirsty and killer monster, alive as a disaster in the ninja world. The hands snapped together, and the chakra in the body spurted out instantly. Wood-style Mu-Long technique. The towering wooden dragon instantly emerged from the ground, opened its big mouth to Uchiha Mu-Yun, and let out a silent roar. The handprint changed, and the seal came out again. Wood-style wooden golem jutsu. Boom! A huge palm burst out of the ground in an instant. The whole ground suddenly tore a long crack. The other wooden palm also stretched out one after another. With 2 palms supporting the ground on both sides, an even more majestic towering wooden golem was instantly drilled from the ground. The size is as large as a tail beast. The wooden dragon on the side instantly supported Senju Hashirama's body and wrapped it around wooden golem. It seems that it is full of unmatched power and haki. The ninjas around were deeply shocked by Hashirama's strength. Is this the strength of the ninja god? The wooden golem made is as big as a tail beast. Sand shinobi and rock shinobi have similar techniques, but the maximum used by Jonin is more than 5 meters high. A giant of this size is really unheard of. As expected of a man known as the god of ninjas, this time, he will surely defeat the demon Uchiha Mu-Yun. Because of Senju Hashirama's good reputation in the shinobi world, Mu-Yun's strong strength is added. All the ninjas, Hashirama began to change towards Konoha. Even Mist Shinobi, who had just been fighting Konoha, hoped that Senju Hashirama would win. After all, he was just a dead man. Even with the power of Tongtian, after killing Uchiha Mu-Yun, he still has to return to the Pure Land. And once Mu-Yun, who has great power, wins what he wants to do afterwards. I'm afraid, case no one in the entire ninja world can stop it. Moreover, Mu Yun's killing intent also made all ninjas tremble. This kind of powerful and bloodthirsty person is a threat after all to stay in the ninja world. After weighing the two phases, they still stood on Senju Hashirama's side. Expect Uchiha Mu Yun to be defeated and killed. Even Reikage's face is a bit cloudy. No one knew what he was thinking. Sasori of Red Sand, who was manipulating the puppet, raised his head and glanced at the majestic wooden golem. Senju Hashirama standing on top of wooden golem is like a god. Brings unlimited oppression. This kind of art is too strong. Do you think Mu Yun will be his opponent? Loquat Juzo thrust the blood-stained beheading knife into the ground forcefully. He shook his head and said uncertainly, "It's bad. Although Mu Yun is very strong, his enemy is Senju Hashirama, the god of the ninja world. It's not easy to win." As soon as his voice fell, I heard Kakuzu snorting next to him. He waved his hand to retract the arm that penetrated the enemy's heart, and looked at the majestic wooden golem with disdain. Back then, even if Senju Hashirama, Senju Tobirama, and even Uchiha Madara joined forces, they couldn't beat Mu Yun. Now even if he loses a part of his power, they won't be Mu Yun's opponent. Looking at Kakuzu, who was quite sure, Akasori shook his head. This guy has completely become an admirer of Uchiha Mu Yun. Even if someone said that Uchiha Mu Yun singled out Sage of Six Paths, he would probably say that the winner was Mu Yun. In addition to the immortal body, Impure World Reincarnation also has unlimited chakra and unlimited physical strength. No injury, no pain, all ninjutsu forbidden technique can be used casually. But Mu Yun is much weaker than before, and the outcome is really hard to say. Even Conan frowned tightly and asked Six Paths Pain on the side. Can he win? The current Akatsuki organization has made the mark of Uchiha Mu Yun in this battle. If he is defeated, he is even killed. Akatsuki will be hunted down and wanted by the entire ninja world. For Akatsuki, who has not yet reached his peak, this is fatal. You can win, Tiandao Pain said with great confidence without hesitation. Are you so sure? A smile appeared on Tiandao's face instantly. Of course, it's a man who wants to bring true peace to the entire ninja world. He will never die easily. At this time, Mu Yun looked at the wooden golem at Hashirama's feet, but felt disappointed in his heart. Too weak. It is too weak. At the peak of Hashirama, 9 tails can be held firmly in one palm of wooden golem. And now the entire wooden golem is only the size of a tail beast. The power in it is even more different. Not at a level at all. Even his body can't even be used by sage art. The long-lost Dingshengwa Buddha can't be used either. In an instant, Uchiha Mu Yun lost all interest. This inferior impure world reincarnation is completely unable to exert its strength during his lifetime. With this level of Hashirama, fighting is too boring. The Hashirama in his hand instantly lifted, and the sharp tip of the knife pointed directly at Senju Hashirama on wooden golem's head. Vacuum ice blade. A sharp blade of light shot out from the tip of the blade in an instant. The huge wooden golem was directly torn apart by the blade. The strong cold air instantly icy the towering wooden golem and Senju Hashirama above him. Think of it as a huge ice sculpture. Mu Yun moved, and instantly appeared on top of wooden golem's head. The Zanpakuto in his hand slowly raised, and a layer of light blue energy was instantly filled with the knife. Zanpakuto, behead the soul. Just as Mu Yun was about to do it, Senju Tobirama's figure appeared behind him instantly. Water-style heaven cries. Several sharp water needles shot out from Tobirama's mouth in an instant. At the moment when he touched Mu Yun, he was frozen into a few thin icicles by the cold air, and instantly shattered. The figure shook, and the palm of his hand instantly caught Senju Tobirama's neck and lifted his body into the air. Zanpakuto, glowing with blue light, slowly raised it. It seems that your two brothers are destined not to return to the Pure Land. A sharp blade of light flashed in midair in an instant. Under the extreme cold of Hashirama, the panic on the fan's face has not yet dissipated. It was instantly frozen by the thick ice. It is like a beautifully shaped statue of human nature. On Zanpakuto Hashirama, a layer of azure blue shimmer instantly filled, exuding a wave of power enough to make any soul tremble. Hashirama and Tobirama have witnessed the destruction of Konoha with their own eyes, and Muyun's purpose has been achieved. If their impure world reincarnation can be more perfect, maybe he is still interested in playing with them. However, the quality of the surgery this time was too bad. Their power can't be exerted at all, much. This kind of boring battle instantly made Muyun's interest completely lost. With a movement of his wrist, a blade of light instantly appeared in midair. At this moment, a dazzling electric light shattered Tobirama's body in the blink of an eye. The sky of ice floated down, causing Zanpakuto to fall in the empty space. The figure of fourth Raikage appeared in front of Muyun instantly. The whole body was surrounded by a strong lightning-style chakra, and dazzling thunder and lightning wrapped around his body. Class abuse level. Full of fierce lightning-style chakra's hand knife, it instantly shattered Hashirama's frozen body. The whole burst into ice crystals in the sky. The gods of impure world reincarnation can be resurrected infinitely, and smashing their bodies is actually saving them. Raikage's behavior caused Muyun's brows to frown slightly. The Hieranmaru blade in his hand turned, and a sharp blade of light shot out instantly. Under the flash of electric light, Raikage's figure disappeared instantly. Only a half-cut arm was left on top of Wooden Golem's head. In the next second, Raikage's figure instantly appeared in Cloud Shinobi's team. Only half of his right arm remained, and blood was still dripping down. Master Raikage, he exclaimed and hurried to Raikage's side to stop the bleeding on his right arm with medical ninjutsu. Master Raikage, why did you save Konoha's Hokage and let them be killed by Uchiha Muan? Isn't it better for Cloud Shinobi? Raikage paid no attention to his broken arm, his eyes were just fixed on Uchiha Muyan's body. Idiot, once those two people are really killed by Uchiha Muan, all the ninjas in the entire ninja world are not necessarily his opponents. His threat is even greater than Senju Hashirama. There is a faint regret in Raikage's heart. The materials left by the ancestors clearly record the terrible Uchiha Muan. However, as proud as he is, he does not believe that there will be such a strong ninja in the world. Otherwise, he would never come to attack Konoha this time. Compared to Uchiha Muan, Konoha's threat is almost non-existent. He must be killed together so that the entire ninja world can be restored to its previous state. He swept his gaze, and instantly stared at Yagura, who was standing on the other side. As the shadow of the five great nations, such a nearly invincible person must never be allowed to appear in the ninja world. Even if he can stand his own mind and not provoke right and wrong, they will not be at ease. You must get rid of him. The Cloud Shinobi Ninja, the goal has been changed, and we will try our best to kill Uchiha Muan and the rebels wearing the Red Cloud Windbreaker. Whoever dares to stop is my enemy of Cloud Shinobi. After Raikage announced the order change, Yagura also changed the order to Mist Shinobi's ninja. After speaking, I took another look at Sand Shinobi's Chio. As long as you are not blind, it is easy to see that Sand Shinobi has been controlled by Uchiha Muan somehow. Now, it is completely unbelievable. Even Sunagakur can become an enemy. Hearing the words of the two shadows, Loquat Juzo was taken aback for a moment. I said, the plan is not like this. Isn't it the three kingdoms besieging Konoha? Why did they begin to besiege us? As the rebel of Mist Shinobi, he doesn't want to fight against the ninja of Mist Shinobi. As the Mist Shinobi Ninja 7, he is very famous among Mist Shinobi ninjas. Even, they have studied a special method of restraining him. Fighting against Mist Shinobi Ninja, it's a disadvantage. Sasori pulled out the scroll he was carrying, and a white smoke flashed by. The puppet of third Cage floated beside him instantly. If you have the strength to complain, let's keep the strength to fight, it won't be too easy next. Looking at the murderous Cloud Shinobi and Mist Shinobi, as well as a small number of Konoha survivors. Looking at a piece of Sand Shinobi still standing on their side. Kakuzu couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. The situation is still not that bad. Roar! A loud roar resounded instantly throughout the Valley of End. The two tail beasts in Wooden Golem ran away in an instant. The second tail wrapped in a dark blue pattern instantly raised his hair and let out an angry roar. From a moment ago, the tail beast in her body began to be restless. Until now, she finally couldn't suppress the tail beast in her body. Two tails, run away in an instant. What's the matter? How could the second tail in Lord Wooden Golem suddenly run away? Quickly, leave the neighborhood and be careful of being killed by Master Wooden Golem by mistake. The violent tail beast has always been synonymous with terror and destruction. All the ninjas around quickly fled from the attack range of the second tail. I am afraid that they will be killed by Wooden Golem's unconsciousness. Two huge tails instantly rose from the midair, and a pair of faint blue vertical pupils stared at Uchiha Muan's body tightly, shining with a thick hatred light. That huge body shape instantly attracted Muan's attention. Niu Matabi. The last time I met, it was already in the Sengoku period. I remember that I also slashed him at that time, but the tail beast is a large number of chakra entities. Unless you use yin and yang to escape, you can't be killed at all. As long as there is a trace of chakra, it can be restored again. Therefore, at that time, Muan only chopped him off, and was not in charge. It seems that this guy still wants to avenge that year. Thoughts are like electricity, right here when Muan is thinking. Niu had already opened his huge mouth to him, and the strong chakra instantly compressed and condensed in his mouth. In a blink of an eye, a large-scale tailed beast bomb was formed. After revealing it, tailed beast bomb shot out instantly. Lightning entangled on it, instantly exploding the surrounding air. The water flow in the Valley of Ending Falls was instantly blasted away by the huge wind pressure of the tailed beast bomb. It burst into a sky full of mist floating in the air. Muan grinned at the corner of his mouth, and Hiranmaru in his hand suddenly went sideways. It seems that the knife of the year was not ruthless enough. Ling Li's knife light flashed by, and a towering frost dragon instantly emerged from the air. Ice Dragon Swing Tail. The majestic ice dragon flashed past in the air, and slammed into the tailed beast bomb which came from the lacing shot. The strong chill broke out in an instant. Countless ice masses instantly covered the entire tailed beast bomb, floating in the air out of thin air. It's like being frozen in space by a strong cold air. Tailed beast bomb is the strongest attacking move of the tailed beast bomb, which changes the form of chakra to ultimate. With the red and blue chakra ratio of 2:8, the yin and yang attribute chakra is compressed and condensed into a powerful chakra light ball. It is powerful enough to knock down a mountain and completely destroy a shinobu village. In the case of extreme release of chakra, its size can even exceed the tail beast itself, and its power is very powerful. Fourth Hokage Namikaze Minato, Rasengan passed down from generation to generation, was developed based on the principle of tailed beast bomb. Two tails, the tailed beast bomb launched in a rage, is like a hill. The chakra energy contained in it is enough to make any ninja sweat. Just looking at it, you can feel an extremely terrifying sense of oppression. Many ninjas stopped fighting under the pressure of tailed beast bomb. All evacuated from the attack range of tailed beast bomb, looking up at the apocalyptic scene in the sky. Even Reikage's face was full of tension. Tailed beast bomb is called a natural disaster because of this kind of tailed beast bomb. Even a cage-level ninja like him can only use speed to dodge, and he doesn't dare to resist. The huge tailed beast bomb is constantly zooming in Muan's eyes, almost occupying the entire field of vision. Two tails dare to shoot him. It seems that the lessons of the year are not enough. As the blade turned, the cold air burst out instantly. A majestic frost dragon appeared out of thin air in the midair. He raised his hair and let out a dragon roar that shook the world, and suddenly collided with the tailed beast bomb. Reikage's face immediately became dreadful. It's going to explode, hide it. All the ninjas were full of tension on their faces. That is the most powerful attack of the tailed beast bomb. Once the chakra contained in it explodes in midair, it is estimated that even the entire Valley of the End will be directly filled. For a while, everyone panicked a little. After hiding behind the Tuliu wall, they prayed silently that they would not be affected by the explosion. Even the Shao organization gathered next to Tiandao Pain, preparing to use Shenluo Tianzhong to bounce off the aftermath of the explosion. At this moment, a crisp voice suddenly came in midair. Taste. The huge tailed beast bomb was completely covered by heavy ice, floating in the air out of thin air. It seems to be frozen in the nearby space by the strong cold. All the cracks instantly covered the entire tailed beast bomb. After a while, it suddenly burst into a cloud of ice and mist, floating down from the sky. All the ninjas who saw this scene widened their eyes. Like a statue, he looked up at the ice and mist falling in the sky. Lost the focus even in his eyes. It's a lie. The tailed beast bomb was frozen. That kind of extreme chakra, would it be blown apart by freezing? Uchiha Muan, he is simply not human. Only the level of Sage of Six Paths can do this kind of thing. The hearts of all ninjas are filled with deep shock. He couldn't even hold the ninja in his hand, and fell to the ground with a jingle. Enemies of this kind of strength are completely beyond their ability to contend. They don't even have the qualifications to stand on the same battlefield. Even Reikage's heart is full of deep shock. He had always known what he was afraid of, but he actually felt the long-lost fear. Even in the ice and snow, a thin layer of cold sweat shed on his forehead. The only left hand trembling faintly. At this moment, Uchiha Muan, standing on top of the frozen wooden golem, suddenly moved. With one foot on the ground, the wooden golem under his feet burst into frost. In the snow and ice, Muyan's figure came quietly. Instantly came Terwei, who was roaring up to the sky. The wrist turned upside down, and a sharp knife light swept out. The severe cold caused all the moisture in the air to freeze. In the shocking eyes of everyone, the second tail with a huge body was frozen in an instant. The frost instantly covered the whole body, and the ice covered every inch of the body. In an instant, it condensed into a huge ice sculpture. With a wave of his hand, Hiranmaru's knife tip lightly touched the ice sculpture. .0. A azure cold breath instantly injected into it. The entire ice sculpture became extremely strong in an instant. Ordinary attacks cannot be destroyed. It's impossible to kill the chakra entity of the tail beast by ordinary means. Even if he slashed his soul, a new soul would be born from it. If you want to really erase the consciousness of the tail beast, except for the power of Master Six Paths, use yin and yang to escape. There is no other way. However, Muyan can use Hiranmaru's power to completely freeze it. In addition to his active liberation, it is estimated that only Chen Dun can release him. This scene instantly made Jiraiya, who was watching the game, a cold sweat. The combination of first generation and second generation is far from his opponent, and now even the tail beast is frozen. Is there any way to defeat him? Could it be that Konoha village really wants to be destroyed in his hands? At this moment, 3 white smoke burst in front of his eyes instantly. The big 3 who went to Mount Myoboku to report the news were once again sent out by Toad summoning. As soon as Toad Wentai came out, she sneezed with the cold surrounding her. Looking at the battlefield around it that looked like a world of ice and snow, my eyes widened to the limit. How did this make this happen? The bloody battlefield has become a world of ice and snow. Even the ground is covered with cracks frozen. Seeing Toad Wen was too shocked, Toad Shenzuo quickly asked. Little Wen, what did Toad Sage say? This kind of enemy that can destroy the 3 holy places in the prophecy, even the Toad Shensuo, known as the Immortal, is extremely nervous. The war in the ninja world can never affect the 3 holy places. This is the Iron Law. For thousands of years, I have not dared to defy, even the strongest Uchiha of the Sengoku period, not even. Toad Wenta also put aside the shock in his heart, and quickly answered Toad Shenshin's words. Big Toad Sage has contacted the White Snake Fairy in Ryachi Cave, and the Katsuyu Fairy in the Wet Bone Forest. As long as this period of time has passed, the immortals of the 3 holy places will personally come to the ninja world and destroy Uchiha Muan. Mount Myoboku, Wet Bone Forest and Ryachi Cave are the 3 holy places that existed in the era of Sage of Six Paths. So far, it has been passed down for thousands of years. Even Sage of Six Paths, who founded Ninzong, has been under the guidance of Toad Sage. In addition, I taught many excellent ninjas to use sage art. Although he almost never intervenes in internal fights between ninjas, his influence in the ninja world is definitely not small. The reason why Konoha can stand in the ninja world is because Senju Hashirama once inherited wood in the Wet Bone Forest. Under the guidance of Katsuyu Fairy, I learned sage art. This is why only Senju Hashirama himself uses wood style in the entire ninja world. Not even the rest of the Senju tribe can open it. Because this was originally not the blood succession boundary that should exist in the ninja realm. It is a part of the power taken away from the 10 Tails sacred tree. Therefore, wood style can have the ability to suppress the tail beast. The foundation of Hashirama, the god of the ninja world, has also been identified. And White Zetsu, a product left over from Infinite Tsukuyomi, also inherited part of the power of the sacred tree. Therefore, Obito transplanted with white Zetsu cells will awaken wood style. Madara mistakenly thought that white Zetsu was a copy of Hashirama. Wood style's powerful blood succession boundary is basically part of the ability that Katsuyu Fairy seized from Ten Tails. Similarly, the celestial arts in the three holy grounds are part of the abilities obtained from Ten Tails. After thousands of years of modification, a complete celestial inheritance was established. It is basically the same power, so I want to deal with Jinchuriki of Ten Tails. Only Shanshu can play a role. However, these intimate past events have long been annihilated in the long river of time. No one in the ninja world knows this. Only Uchiha Muan faintly guessed part of the facts that year, so he would take Hashirama's wood style for research. It's just that, after all, it was sealed under the union of many masters. Now, after 60 years, when this man wakes up again. Toad Sage of Mount Myoboku clearly saw the scene of the destruction of the three holy sites. And Mu-Yun's next goal is precisely the wet bone forest. The authenticity of the prediction is self-evident. After listening to Toad Wentai's words, Toad Shensuo's face was also very serious. Unexpectedly, the immortals of the three holy places can come to the ninja world. It seems that the three immortals attach great importance to this matter. Even Jiraiya's face was full of shock. As the descendant of Mount Myoboku in the ninja world, he is familiar with Toad Sage. Mount Myoboku does not have a direct connection with the ninja world, so if you want to go there, you must use time and space ninjutsu. Summoning technique is the most economical way of chakra. However, just to summon Toad Shensaku and Toad Shima, it takes a long time to prepare. If you want to summon the three immortals, how powerful chakra can do it? Little Jiraiya, don't be distracted. The most important thing now is to never let Uchiha Muan get out of the battlefield before the three immortals arrive. Toad made a deep flash and returned to Jiraiya's shoulder again. My child and I will fully absorb natural energy and attack him with sage art. As soon as the voice fell, Jiraiya felt a surging chakra burst out of his body. Even the palm of his hand began to gradually change in the direction of the toad. However, it also doubled his strength. At this moment, Senju Hashirama's figure suddenly appeared in front of Jiraiya. Can you divide the Shanshu chakra into me? The current body can't even absorb the Shanshu chakra. Hashirama's impure world reincarnation is the first time Mitokado Homura has used it. It's just a sacrifice made by the most ordinary villagers. He simply couldn't bring out the combat power of his peak period. Toad Shinsaku and Toad Shima looked at each other, and slowly stretched out his palm from Jiraiya's shoulder. Mount Myoboku's fairy art chakra is a bit difficult to control, but if it's you, there should be no problem. After receiving the Shanshu chakra passed to Mason, Hashirama's face couldn't help but a burst of joy. A circle of pitch-black patterns gradually emerged around the eyes. Sure enough, it is chakra, the violent fairy technique, but master is not too difficult to get up. Senju Hashirama from the new master sage art has a confident smile on his face again. Now, it should be able to compete with Uchiha Muan. The hands suddenly clasped together, and a large amount of Shanshu chakra spewed out in an instant. Wood-style laughing Buddha jutsu. In the ground under Muyan's feet, 5 huge wooden palms suddenly emerged. Almost everyone can hold the tail beast in its palm. Shanshu chakra's fluctuations instantly made Muyan's heart vigilant. The Hirinmaru in his hand volleyed, and the coldness of the line broke out in an instant. Freeze all the surrounding wooden palms in it. The figure flashed, and the whole person appeared in front of Senju Hashirama's eyes instantly. A sharp knife light slashed through in an instant. The cold and sharp aura made Hashirama's face exuded a fine layer of cold sweat. Put your hands together again to mobilize chakra. Wood-style wooden golem jutsu. The huge wooden golem, instantly in front of Hashirama. Ling Ling's knife light struck in an instant, and the towering wooden golem was instantly cut in half from it. The edge of the knife was also covered with dense ice. Muyan's brows frowned slightly, although Hashirama's immortal technique is not as powerful as it used to be. However, it is already much stronger than just now. Even wooden golem's size and firmness have been greatly improved. The blade shook, and instantly blasted the wooden golem into a cloud of ice. One kick kicked Jiraiya, who was about to attack behind him, a long way. A flash of icy cold flashed across his eyes. Raising his hand to cross Hashirama across his chest, sticking out his 2 fingers, he slowly slashed across the sharp knife. Vacuum Ice Blade. A huge cold air blade light spans almost the entire world. It directly freezes Senju Hashirama's body into a sky full of ice. Even on the ground, there was a deep wave of ice. As the blade turned, a faint blue light flashed by. Senju Tobarama, who was recovering from the side, instantly burst into a cold sweat. That is, the ability to kill the soul. Once cut by that knife, the soul will be annihilated in an instant. Even the opportunity to return to the Pure Land will not be possessed. At this moment, a transparent cube stood in front of Hashirama in an instant. Earth-style original world stripping technique. Just when Zanpakuto was about to kill Senju Hashirama's soul, a transparent cube stood in front of Hashirama in an instant. Among them, it has completely become a vacuum zone. Even all the chakra elements were completely dispelled. Even the power of Zanpakuto was forced to retreat. An old but powerful voice suddenly remembered. Earth-style original world stripping technique. A dazzling white light flashed in an instant. The surrounding frost disappeared out of thin air, and even the cold air in the air was instantly dispelled. A reminiscence flashed in Mu Yun's eyes. Original world peeling technique. None, or the little devil Onoki. In the Sengoku period of that year, only one person had the ability to eliminate this kind of student status. Iwagakure's second Tsuchikage, none. However, there was no concept of Shinobu Village back then. He was just a powerful ninja. Mu Yun once played against him back then, the kind of dust that can peel everything into nothingness. Very troublesome. Although he won in the end, it also took a lot of effort. However, this guy should be dead now. The only one who can use Chendun should be Wu's disciple, the little devil Oyemu. At this moment, a short ninja with a long white beard suddenly appeared in the air. The whole body seems to have no weight at all, and it can float in the air. Iwagakure third Tsuchikage, Onogi known as the Two Balances. Behind him, there are many energetic rock shinobi. Among them, the elite Jonin, such as Lois, Black Soil, and Terracotta, are powerful ninjas with names and surnames in the ninja world. After seeing this scene, all the ninjas present had a glimmer of hope in their hearts. Except for Cloud Shinobi of Thunder Country, only Rock Shinobi of Earth Country is powerful. At the beginning, I thought Rock Shinobi was not interested in this war. Unexpectedly, at the most critical moment, Rock Shinobi actually arrived on the battlefield. The entire 5 ninja nations are concentrated in this battlefield in the Valley of End. This war has evolved into the 4th Ninja War. All the forces in the entire ninja world are involved. Even the 3 holy places that exist independently of the ninja world are about to participate in the war. All the ninjas have a strong hope in their hearts. Rock Shinobi is finally here. With Rock Shinobi's help, we will definitely be able to stop the rebels of Akatsuki and the lunatics of Sunagakure. The most important thing is that with the strength of 3rd Tsuchikage, you should be able to fight Uchiha Muan. There is hope that this war will be won. Can win. Even Reikage's face showed a hint of relaxation. Iwagakure's Onoki must admit that he is as arrogant as he is. The strength alone is far above him. It may be the strongest among the existing 5 shadows. With the dust that is eliminated by bloodline, you can break through any defense and strip everything away from the dust. Definitely defeat Uchiha Muan. Maybe, it's possible to kill him directly. In the battle just now, the chill that escaped from Hashirama directly froze and burst many of Cloud Shinobi's ninjas. Reikage has no less hatred for him than anyone else. Had it not been for his lack of strength, he would have rushed to fight him. However, the arrival of Onoki gave him a lot of confidence. Uchiha Muan is an old monster that has awakened from the Sengoku period. Onogi is an old guy who has lived until now from the Sengoku period. Compared with Muan, Reikage feels Onogi has a bigger win. Even Konan, who was fighting Mist Shinobi Ninja, had a worried look on his face. With a wave of the white origami wings, countless origami shurikens instantly pushed back the enemies in front of them. The wings danced, and instantly came to the face of heaven. Nagato, even Onoki is here, and this war is probably over here. 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki has a reputation in the entire ninja world. Even Akatsuki's betrayal, after seeing him, couldn't help being more careful. With the help of Dust Escape, Onoki can instantly kill anyone in the field. You have to be careful. Tian Dao raised his head and looked at the large wildwood floating in the air, and there was a touch of solemnity in his eyes. However, he still shook his head slightly. Our opponent is not him. We don't need to worry about doing our own thing. I believe Uchiha Muan can win. After all, that's a man who doesn't even care about Rinnegan. Just when it was said that some people had high hopes for Onoki, no one noticed that his hands behind his back were shaking slightly. My heart is already full of fear. He will never forget the scarlet Sharingan. I can't forget the war knife in Muyan's hand. When he was young, these two things had left a deep impression on him. Even his master was almost split in half by Muyan. That scene lingered in his mind until the heart was in. At the moment when I saw Muyan, I couldn't help but feel a little fear in my heart. If it weren't for seeing Senju Hashirama, even the soul would be destroyed. He will not shoot. If it weren't for the entire ninja world, no one would be Uchiha Muyan's opponent. He would never appear on this battlefield at all. Facing Muyan, that was a terrible challenge. At this moment, Uchiha Muyan smiled slightly at Onoki. That little kid back then is now third Tsuchikage. In the past 60 years, too many things have happened. If he hadn't been familiar with all the plots in Hokage's world, he wouldn't dare to associate the old man with white hair in front of him with the little kid who was scared to cry by him. Police Muyan glanced at Tsunade, who was saving people everywhere in the Konoha camp. Zanpakuto in his hand let out a soft moan. His purpose is one of the 3 holy places signed by Tsunade. Wet bone forest. Your own wood style must be retrieved. All those who stand in front of him will be his enemies. At the moment when Zanpakuto groaned in his hand, Onoki in the sky trembled fiercely. Even a pair of old eyes widened nervously to the limit. Ninjutsu was almost released when he was nervous. Hearing the comments of ninjas around him, his heart was full of bitterness. Defeat Uchiha Muyan, still threatening to kill him. You dare to think about it. As long as I can keep this old life in front of him, that's not bad. Onoki was suspended in the air, condescendingly looking at all the ninjas under him. It seems that the master is full of demeanor, but in fact he is very nervous. The battle that year impressed him too deeply. The scarlet Sharingan, and the sharp saber. It will appear in his dreams from time to time, awakening him. Over the past 60 years, there has been no interruption. I heard the news of Uchiha Muyan's awakening before. Iwagakure is the most calm one. There was no mobilization of any forces at all, just summoning all the ninjas on mission back to the village. Prepared for full defense. Even his disciple who always likes to blast everywhere, he doesn't have time to control. Spread a large number of investigative ninjas all over the ninja world. All the energy is put on Uchiha Muyan's body. Zanpakuto was born on the top of Mount Sumi, and the Rain Country fought against the Akatsuki organization. He knew all these other information that Shinomura didn't know very well. It is because he knows the horror of Muyan that he pays special attention to this information. The more he understands, the more frightened he is. Uchiha Muyan's demonstrated strength, although it is far different from the previous year. However, in today's shinobi, it is still absolutely invincible. At least, within the known range of Onoki, no one can stand alone against Uchiha Muyan head-on. Even if his master Wu is alive, it is estimated that he is far from his opponent. When Cloud Shinobi attacked Konoha, the daimyo of Tonokuni also asked him to send troops. Take advantage of the emptiness of the country on fire to expand the territory of one's own country. However, it was rejected by Onoki. Uchiha Muyan's bond with Konoha is too deep. As long as he doesn't figure out his purpose for a day, he will not move. Until the Valley of the End, the battlefield gathered most of the forces of the ninja world. Except for the Kingdom of Kwoto, the other 4 countries are involved. Once Muyan wins this war, the entire ninja world will be invincible. The land of the earth has become the fish on the display board, and it can be slaughtered. In desperation, Onoki could only send troops. However, at the moment of meeting Uchiha Muyan, there was a deep fear in his heart. How can it be possible to win? As long as he still holds the knife in his hand, the scarlet Sharingan hasn't stopped turning. It will never be possible to defeat him. Even the strong Sengoku clan back then had to disperse his strength to reluctantly seal him. Confront him with the current 5 ninja nations. It is impossible. However, under the gaze of tens of thousands of ninjas, he can only pretend to be an expert. On the surface, they looked serious, and looked down all the ninjas condescendingly. In fact, his legs are a bit soft, and he may not even stand firm. You can only float in the air, so that people will not see the fear in his heart. Seeing Onoki floating in midair, Muyun also had a hint of interest in his heart. The Hiranmaru in his hand burst into a bitter chill, and the long knife flicked. The ground was instantly covered with a thin layer of frost. It's been a long time since I played against Shenden Ninja. I don't know if you have the level of nothing. Seeing Muyun's work, Onogi's pupils shrank sharply. During the Sengoku period that year, Muyun's slaying scenes reappeared in his mind. Let his hands and feet be cold. Both eyes scanned the entire battlefield back and forth, looking for a way to defeat him. Suddenly, Onoki's eyes lit up in an instant. The whole person flew straight in the direction of Reikage. All the ninjas were confused by his actions. The stare between the two just now looked like two pinnacle masters about to face off. Let everyone die, and the battle will start at the touch of a case. At this critical moment, Onogi flew in the direction of Cloud Shinobi. Do not fight. Even Reikage's face was full of surprise. He admits that Onoki's strength is stronger than him. But he didn't understand why he did it. Just when he was puzzled, Onogi had already floated to his side. Reikage, I use the light and heavy rock technique to assist you. With your speed and my strength, I will definitely be able to hit him hard. Hearing Onogi's explanation, Reikage instantly understood what he meant. Use the light and heavy rock technique to reduce your own weight and increase your speed again. At the moment of the attack, use the augment rock technique to increase the weight of the body to increase the strength of the attack. In this case, it is really possible to compete with him. If it was normal, the proud Reikage would not even bother to join hands with him. However, they are now facing old monsters that have awakened from the time of Sengoku. Even if it is teaming up against the enemy, it is helpless. He immediately accepted Onoki's suggestion. Onoki, who was approved, lay on Reikage's back in an instant. Pressing his back with one hand, ninjutsu was activated instantly. Earth-style light and heavy rock technique. A burst of invisible fluctuations spread all over the body instantly. Reikage instantly felt his body lighter a lot, as if he didn't have the slightest weight. However, what he didn't understand was why Tsuchikage Onoki lay on his back. Even all the ninjas who saw this scene were full of doubts in their hearts. Well, how do I feel that Tsuchikage and Reikage's postures are weird? Is it an illusion? I don't know why, I also think it's a bit weird. What do you know? With the help of Tsuchikage's light and heavy rock technique, Reikage's attack power will be even more terrifying. This is the most effective way to deal with Uchiha's monster. It turns out that this is the case, it is worthy of Tsuchikage to come up with such a method. However, they always feel that their posture is a bit strange. Even Muyun felt their posture was a bit weird. However, when they faced Uchiha Madara, they also attacked in this way. Although it felt a little strange, it didn't care. Zanpakuto, who was full of cold air, was just lifted gently, and a white cold current burst out from the blade of the command. In a pair of scarlet Sharingan, there is endless fighting spirit. Only Oyeki on Reikage's back was relieved. Lying on Reikage's back will prevent people from seeing his legs trembling. Moreover, with Reikage blocking in front, there is no need to face Uchiha Muyun head-on. It is really an excellent way. With the blessing of the light and heavy rock technique, Reikage felt that his entire body weight had been drastically reduced by more than half. It's as light as a feather. Now he is performing lightning-style body flicker technique, and his speed will be even faster. With a loud shout, a large amount of thunder suddenly burst out of the body, chakra. The whole body was wrapped with dazzling electric light, and the arcs kept jumping above the body. Let his hair stand upright. Reikage squeezed his fist, and the whole person disappeared instantly. None of the ninjas around could see his movements clearly. Even Senju Tobarama's mouth Kakuzu smiled. Use lightning-style chakra to stimulate cell activation, so that the strength and speed in the body can reach ultimate, which is comparable to Flying Thunder God. Uchiha Muyun is not using his own eyes now, and Susanoo is just Mangekyo's bust. Use this kind of strength and speed to fight, and you can really win if you say it is not good. However, he quietly prepared for rescue. After all, Uchiha Muan puts too much pressure on him. Those theoretical things may not really work for him. His existence as a person is challenging the common sense of the entire shinobi world. The second after Reikage disappeared, his figure appeared behind Muan instantly. So fast, the Scarlet Sharingan captured his figure in an instant. However, Muan did not fully see his movement trajectory. After all, he is using only Mangekyo Sharingan's pupil power, not eternal. The joint attack of Reikage and Tsuchikage still has some effect for him. At this moment, one of Reikage's foot suddenly lifted. Entangled with strong electric light, it slashed down fiercely. Guillotine drop. At the same time, Tsuchikage behind him also performed ninjutsu again. Earth-style heavy rock technique. That kind of powerful attack seemed to split the whole world. In Muyan's Sharingan, a surging pupil power was suddenly released. A bright red fist suddenly slammed out, and violently collided with Reikage's attack. Boom! The huge power caused the entire ground to collapse instantly. Susanoo, half-length, couldn't resist the joint attack of Reikage and Tsuchikage. Just a little bit of resistance, and the whole Susanoo shattered in an instant. The violent shock wave instantly lifted all the smoke and dust on the ground. Shoot out in a ring to the surroundings. Seeing this scene, the surrounding ninjas suddenly burst into violent cheers. Awesome, just a single blow made him have to use Susanoo to defend, and he couldn't defend it at all. It's worthy of the two shadows teaming up. Unexpectedly, the combined strength of Reikage and Tsuchikage would be so terrible. That monster, the first time he can't stop the attack, he can definitely win. Even Senju Tobarama gently lifted his fingers on the ground. Everything was as he expected, and the half-length Susanoo couldn't stop Reikage and Tsuchikage from joining forces. This time, it can finally cause him some trouble. Sasori, who was fighting with the Cloud Shinobi ninja, saw this scene inadvertently. The expression on his face changed color. With one hand raised, countless blades protruded from the puppet's body in an instant. In an instant, all the Cloud Shinobi ninjas who besieged him were cut in half. The thick blood made him full of alcohol. However, he didn't have time to care at all, and shouted anxiously to Kakuzu on the side. After Tsuchikage and Reikage joined forces, they are very strong. Do you want to come and help? After seeing the strength of Muyan and the artistic effect of Hyarinmaru that shocked to the limit, Sasori has recognized Muyan as the leader of Akatsuki in his heart. What's more, with Muyan's age and seniority, he is more than enough to be the leader of Akatsuki's organization. Seeing him encountering a crisis for the first time, I couldn't help but feel a little worried. Kakuzu held a rock shinobi ninja in his hand, reached out and grabbed his heart. Carelessly stitched the heart in his hand into his body. He gave a warning look in Reikage's direction, his face full of disdain. Strong strength. That guy Onoki probably got frightened so that he would lie on Reikage's back. Apart from Sage of Six Paths, I can't think of anyone who can defeat the leader. After speaking, Kakuzu rushed into Cloud Shinobi's team this time. Used the power of resentment to kill the surrounding ninjas frantically. He and Onoki have both witnessed Muyan's strength. It is like the frog at the bottom of the well leaping out of the edge of the well, there is a shock of looking up at the starry sky and seeing the sky. Personal experience told him that after witnessing Muyan's strength, he would never dare to attack him. Oyemu, that boy, will definitely not be any better than him. Sasori behind him was taken aback after hearing what he said. Tsuchikage frightened his legs. Are you kidding me? However, if Muyan is not the opponent of the two, then it will not help to rush over and join the battle. Immediately set his mind and fully control the puppet in his hand to fight. At this moment, a frost dragon broke through the sky of smoke and went straight into the sky. The figure of Uchiha Muan is standing on the dragon's head. A black hair was flying freely behind his head, and there was a hint of excitement in the Scarlet Sharingan. None of the armor on his body was broken, and the Hyarinmaru in his hand was still sharp and bright. .00. As expected of Reikage and Tsuchikage, they have some offensive power when they work together. The corners of Muyan's mouth rose slightly, with an imperceptible smile. The attacks of the two made him feel a little threat. In the current ninja world, it really made him a little excited. The Hyarinmaru in his hand suddenly turned, forming a circular ice mirror in the air. Flock of birds and icicles. The huge cold exploded in an instant. The moisture in the air instantly condensed into countless sharp ice. Like a flock of birds returning to the nest, lacing out to the entire ground. Since Reikage is very fast, use range attacks to cover the entire battlefield. Whoosh. Hello one. Countless sharp ice fell from the sky and plunged deeply into the ground. The chill contained in the ice bursts out instantly. Suddenly burst into countless pieces of ice, blasting out in the surrounding direction. The sharp ice swept across the battlefield. Numerous ninjas who couldn't dodge were all hit by the splashing ice. In just a moment, the number of casualties exceeded 100. Among them, a dazzling thunder could faintly be seen shooting back and forth on the ground, dodging the sky of ice. Got you. A dragon roar resounded across the sky. The frost dragon flicked its tail and instantly swooped down from the sky. Ice dragon swing tail. The ice in the sky came in an instant, almost covering the entire battlefield. Numerous ninjas had just evaded an ice, when the next ice pierced their chests. Nailed fiercely on the ground. In the next second, the blasted Bingling instantly tore the corpse to pieces. Only a sticky blood plasma was left on the ground. The whole battlefield was full of wailing. There was blood and death everywhere. Even Tsunade was pierced through abdomen by a stick of ice. The severe pain distorted her expression. After gritting his teeth, Bingling pulled out and threw it into the distance. It burst into an ice mist in midair. Looking around, there was blood red everywhere on the battlefield. Above the endless frost, there are blood clots that have frozen and solidified. There are also a large number of cruel people who fell to the ground and wailed in pain. It's a scene of hell on earth. 500. Tsunade's pupils trembled violently in their eye sockets. My heart is full of great grief. Konoha's ninjas have never existed in this war. After the attack just now, very few survived. Uchiha Muan, you are a demon. Tsunade cursed in a low voice, touching the bloodline on his abdomen with his fingertips and stroked his palm. His hands immediately formed a seal and slapped on the ground fiercely. Summoning technique. Boom. A strong white smoke suddenly appeared, and a huge slug appeared on the battlefield instantly. All summoning techniques have a time limit. Can't exist for a long time with summoning's side. Summoning's Katsuyu had reached time before the war, and it was automatically dismissed. This is the second time that summoning Katsuyu came out today, and she is even bigger than last time. Even with Baihao Technique's chakra, it was a little too much to bear. Katsuyu, the division covers every ninja, and the foundation of the entire ninja cannot be ruined here. Among the three sacred places, only Katsuyu immortals have a milder personality. It can even be said to have no temper, even the tone is like a gentle girl. At Tsunade's request, Katsuyu split into countless small slugs instantly. Cover every wounded on the battlefield. A green light appeared on the body, healing the wound instantly. However, one of the Katsuyu crawled in the direction of Muan. After all, it is the common enemy of the three holy places. Even if Katsuyu's attack power is relatively weak, some intelligence must be collected. At the same time, Reikage's figure also stopped. Avoiding the freezing ice in the sky also made him consume a lot of chakra. Even breathing is a little short. Seeing a tragic scene on the battlefield, his heart was instantly flooded with anger. Uchiha Muan, I must kill him by myself. Onoki, who was lying behind him, had a look of contempt when he heard what he said. Kill him yourself. Do not make jokes. Back then, the only way he could think of killing Uchiha Muan was to live well. Perhaps, he can die with a long lifespan. However, the moment he woke up, the plan also failed. At this moment, a giant frost dragon swooped down instantly. Make Onogi's pupils shrink instantly. Back then, he saw Muan use this trick to freeze his opponent. The cold ice will not fall for decades, and there is no trace of melting under the sun. Once touched by an ice dragon, it will eternally transform into an ice sculpture. His hands quickly formed seals, and the chakra in his body spewed out without reservation. Earth-style Gang Li-style technique. The ground beneath his feet instantly shattered into countless boulders. Condensed into a towering rock giant, blocking the two figures behind him. Boom. At the moment of contact with the frost dragon, the entire rock giant burst into a cloud of ice mist. A sharp knife light instantly caught Onoki's eyes. And that pair of Sharingan, scarlet like Shinigami. At this time, Reikage had already lifted the lightning-style chakra mode, and there was no time to dodge. At the moment of this 1,000 fishing shots, the figures of the two disappeared in an instant. The sharp knife light split the entire ground into a deep knife mark. Countless ice, covering the entire ground, exudes a chilling air. Flying Thunder God Technique. Tobirama. Since 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato died, Flying Thunder God disappeared in the ninja world. Almost no one can skillfully use this space-time ninjutsu. On this battlefield, it is estimated that only Tobirama can have this ability to instantly teleport the two of Reikage and Tsuchikage out of Mu-Yun's attack range. At this moment, Tobirama's figure appeared behind him again. The eyes are full of bone to separate hatred, and one face is also covered with frost. Uchiha Mu-Yun, you and me from the Sengoku period, let's lie back in the coffin honestly. Waved out dozens of special detonating charms. 0. Tandem paper bombs. Boom, boom, boom. The continuous explosion blasted the entire ground to pieces in an instant. At the moment when every detonating talisman explodes, another detonating talisman will appear in summoning. Explosion, endless. Jiraiya, who had just arrived, immediately printed out. With the two great immortals on both shoulders, use the strongest fire-style immortality he can master. Sage Art Gomon. The thick flames instantly filled the fog raised by the explosion. Even the ground shook under the burning flames. A violent explosion sounded continuously from the thick flames. Countless bright sparks burst out. At this moment, 3 Tails Yagura and 8 Tails Killer Bee also came from a distance. The ninjas in their respective ninja villages suffered heavy casualties in Mu-Yun's attack. The fierce anger has completely turned the two of them into beasts. Crimson beams of light were continuously ejected from his mouth. Swap the wine in the flames and explode instantly. Tailed Beast Bomb Barrage. Boom, boom. Countless sparks were instantly blown up in the air and dispersed with the wind. The ground under my feet couldn't withstand this powerful attack, and suddenly collapsed and collapsed. The violent shock wave lifted all the smoke and dust around. Almost the entire sky is covered. The figure of Hashirama appeared beside Jiraiya instantly. Looking at the flames and explosions in front of him, even a trace of sweat oozes from his forehead. Even he couldn't survive this kind of attack. Even if Uchiha Mu-Yun is in it, there is no possibility of survival at all. It must be dead. Reaching out his hand and patted Senju Tobirama's shoulder fiercely, his face was full of admiration. Thanks to your method, you can use Reikage as a bait to kill him and get rid of a terrifying enemy for the ninja world. Jiraiya was relieved and wiped the sweat off his face. Looking up at the glimmer of light rising from the horizon, the whole person is much more relaxed. The war is finally over. At this moment, a cold voice suddenly came from the thick flames. It instantly changed the complexion of everyone present. In the thick flames, there was a cold voice in an instant. The war is indeed over. The figure of Uchiha Mu-Yun walked out of the flames intact. Neither the flame nor the explosion hurt a single hair on him. The entire human body presents a peculiar translucency. All the attacks, all penetrated his body and fell into the empty space. In a Sharingan, Obito's Mangekyo is present. Kamui. Walking slowly out of the flames, Mu-Yun spoke. Your meaning ends here. Seeing Mu-Yun stepping out of the flames, everyone's faces were full of shock and horror. Especially Senju Tobirama. His entire face was filled with unbelievable color. This attack was the final attack he planned for a long time. Even Hashirama's heyday may not survive. Uchiha Mu-Yun was unscathed. How can it be? At this moment, Hirinmaru in Mu-Yun's hand mentioned it instantly. An astonishing cold air swept all around in an instant. Let everyone's body be covered with a fine layer of frost. Go back and get away. Senju Hashirama saw Mu-Yun's gestures and was shocked instantly. He quickly reminded Jiraiya beside him, but he stood in front of him. Summoning Rashomon. Anyway, he is the body of impure world reincarnation, and he will not die at all. Even if it is crushed, it can be recovered in a short time. A cold smile appeared on the corner of Mu-Yun's mouth. He has played this battle game long enough. As the blade turned, a sharp blade light instantly pierced the sky. When a crisp sound instantly exploded in everyone's ears. Rashomon was split in half by Shungshung, and even Hashirama behind the door was chopped off by one arm. When everyone did not react, it instantly appeared on the back of Three Tails. Slap hard on the back of Three Tails turtle. Resolve the tail seal. The seal used by Yagura to seal the Three Tails was instantly unlocked by the seal of Tails. Roar. Three Tails roared to the sky, and the tail beast chakra broke out in an instant. An invisible air wave was set off around, blowing everything around. The figure of Yagura was instantly repelled by Three Tails. Smashed to the ground fiercely, his face was full of despair. Once the tail beast in Jinchuriki's body is pulled away, it will die instantly. Even if he is Mizukage, it is no exception. There is no focus in a pair of eyes, staring hollowly at the clear sky. Too strong. He directly and forcibly broke the seal of the tail beast, cutting off the connection between him and the tail beast in an instant. Is this the strength of the strongest Uchiha during the Sengoku period? Before, he still disagrees with Muyun's strength. Not to mention, most of his power has been sealed. I didn't know the horror of Muyun until I really faced him. Especially the moment when he unlocked his seal just now. Only a pair of scarlet Sharingan appeared in his spiritual world instantly. The powerful seal was torn in an instant without resistance. There is no room for resistance at all. Maybe, this is my end. Yagura's eyes slowly closed, which implies infinite love for the world. Death is coming. Seeing this scene of Tobirama, his heart is also desperate. Even the attack just now couldn't hurt Muyun a bit. They have already lost this war. Hurry up and notify all ninjas to leave the battlefield and retain their strength. Hearing Tobirama's yelling, Jiraiya and others woke up instantly. He gritted his teeth fiercely and fled to the surroundings in an instant. Stepping on the crazy Three Tails, Muyun's face didn't fluctuate. The Hiranmaru in his hand turned the blade upside down and lightly tapped it on the back of Three Tails. The bitter cold suddenly broke out. The entire body of Three Tails climbed a layer of white frost at a speed visible to the naked eye. In a blink of an eye, Three Tails was frozen instantly. The huge Three Tails is like an exquisite ice sculpture. Still keeping the posture of open mouth and roaring in the ice, but it can only be tightly sealed in the thick ice, there is no possibility of detachment at all. Point your toes and your body shape disappears instantly. The next second, he appeared directly in front of Senju Hashirama's eyes. Before he could react, he directly grabbed Hashirama's head. The tremendous power almost crushed his head directly. System, capture, hum. An unusually powerful suction force bursts out of Muyun's palm in an instant. Senju Hashirama felt the power in his body and gradually flowed into his body along Muyun's palm. This kind of weird ability makes him creepy. If he can take anyone's abilities into his own use, who else can be his opponent in the entire ninja realm? Never let him absorb it. The powerful willpower instantly broke the impure world reincarnation technique free. The whole body instantly collapsed into debris, and the soul slowly ascended into the sky under the shroud of a beam of light. That kind of light beam is the power of the Pure Land world. Once you attack Hashirama's soul in this situation, you will be attacked by the entire Pure Land world. The gain is not worth the loss. Tobirama on the side also used willpower to break impure world reincarnation free. Uchiha Muan, you will eventually be defeated by a ninja. I look forward to the day when meets you in the Pure Land. After speaking, the body instantly collapsed. That day will never come. Muyun watched the two disappear coldly. With the tip of the knife swayed, a giant frost dragon appeared under his feet in an instant. Lifting his body, he immediately rushed towards Eight Tails' huge figure. This time, be sure to clear all the troubles. At this moment, Reikage's body suddenly stood in front of him. Surrounded by turbulent electric lights, his face was determined. For the safe evacuation of Cloud Shinobi's army, for the life of Bai. Even if it is dead. Can't let Muyun take the first half step. Lateral bolt of pain. Chop. A blow filled with lightning-style chakra's palm knives, instantly slashed above Muyun's body. The immense power even caused an explosion in the air in front of you. The final attack. Then fulfill your resolution. The blade of the long blade in his hand turned, and a sharp blade of light instantly tore the sky. Vacuum ice blade. Boom. The fierce cold exploded in midair instantly. Countless ice rims bloomed a huge flower of ice in the air. Fourth Reikage's body was instantly frozen by the cold air. Suddenly burst into ice mist in the sky. Battlefield in the Valley of the End. The entire battlefield was already covered with frost. Even the waterfall in the valley has long been frozen into ice, very strong. Even the statues of Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara on both sides were frozen with fine cracks under the severe cold current. It seems that if you touch it lightly, it will explode. The ninjas of the 5 great nations walked slowly among the ice everywhere. His face was full of despair. Converge the corpses of one's own companions together, like a walking corpse. The ninjas of the 5 great nations all suffered heavy losses in this war. Especially Konoha's ninja, under the plan of Mu Yun, was besieged by the 3 nations. Later, it was slaughtered frantically by the Shao organization. There is no 1 in 10 for the entire combat power. Only a few elite Jonin and special Jonin survive. Chunin almost died. Only Gangzati and Shenyu Chayu had better luck, but they were seriously injured. Yamashiro Aoba walked on the battlefield in despair, gathering the bodies of Konoha shinobi. Many people have blood-stained faces, and even their bodies are already mutilated. Only by relying on the clothes on his body can he tell which Konoha belongs to. Even his partner, Ignorance Huo Xuanjian, died on the battlefield. 2 sharp ice pierced his chest, deeply nailed to the ground. The whole face has been distorted and deformed, and I want to endure great pain before death. Konoha is gone. After Shancheng Qingye said these words desperately, she knelt on the ground weakly. Even if the village has not been breached, Konoha's ninja has been killed and wounded. Especially the mid-level combat power has almost all died out. Throughout Konoha, only some elite merchants and genin who had already evacuated survived. There has been a fault in strength. Not to mention one of the 5 great nations, even a few small ninja villages can unite and completely wipe out the current Konoha. Existing in name, how sad. At this moment, Jiraiya's figure suddenly appeared in front of him. An oily face is full of anxiety. Mountain Castle Aoba, quickly organize all the Konoha shinobi to evacuate, we lost this war. Upon hearing Jiraiya's words, Yamashiro Aoba just nodded imperceptibly. Even Konoha's special Jonin, after experiencing such a fierce war, it is also full of despair. Even, the faith to live has been lost. A slap in the face severely knocked him to the ground. Wake up, think about the new Konoha seedlings that are still alive. Those genin who have not yet grown are Konoha's hope. Even if everyone is dead, as long as they are in Konoha, it is not considered perish. Jiraiya's angry words finally awakened Yamashiro Aoba. Thinking of the smiling teenagers in the ninja school, suddenly understood the meaning of his existence. Teach the next generation, let Konoha stand on the land of shinobi again. Those children who have not yet grown up are the heirs of the will of fire. It's the green leaf in 3rd Hokage's mouth, the jade in Asuma's mouth. The whole person immediately turned over and jumped up and bowed deeply to Jiraiya. I understand, Lord Jiraiya, I will now withdraw the troops that gathered Konoha. In order to pass on the will of fire, even if it is to endure the humiliation of defeat, even if it is to flee the battlefield. The leaves of these dead ginger must also return to their roots and become the nutrients for the new green leaves. Jiraiya looked back at Mu Yun who was fighting Hashirama and Tobirama, and felt anxious. Before he can react, all troops must be evacuated from the battlefield. Not only Konoha, but also other shinobu villages. The foundation of the ninja world cannot be lost here. Only if the foundation of the ninja world is not lost, can one day in the future be completely defeated by the demon Uchiha Mu Yun. With the shout of the mountain castle Aoba, every corner of the entire battlefield began to drill out ninjas from different countries one after another. Everyone's faces were full of horror, and there was a deep color of fear hidden in the depth of the chimney. Some people were stunned by the attack just now, and some people simply hid in a relatively safe place and did not dare to come out at all. In the eyes of all ninjas, Uchiha Mu Yun has become a world-destroying monster even more terrifying than the tail beast. It is the embodiment of death and killing. Just a glance can bring blood and death. 4th Raikage's guarde hugged her severed arm tightly. He walked out of the hiding place with awkward steps. With a casual sweep of his eyes widened to the limit in an instant. Even the pupils in the eye sockets are trembling violently. The scene where Raikage was beheaded by Mu Yun to the icy fog was clearly reflected in his eyes. Let the last place of faith in his heart collapse instantly. Master Reikage. Zai's exclamation instantly attracted everyone's attention. The moment when Reikage died, everyone who survived on the battlefield could see clearly. Even Reikage died in his hands. Devil, he is a demon. Ah. The moment everyone saw Mu Yun, the fear in their hearts was like ice water dripping into boiling oil. Instantly explode. Some people have even been crushed by the fear in their hearts. He just opened his horrified eyes and shouted. At this moment, in their eyes, Mu Yun was even more terrifying than the world-famous monster. If a few years have passed, Mu Yun could even become a new legend in the ninja world to stop children's night crying. Ding! Zanpakuto slowly inserted it back into the scabbard, and Mu Yun looked at Tsuchikage Onogi, who was about to flee out of sight. Mangekyo's right eye suddenly burst out with huge pupil power, and instantly absorbed his body into it. Onoki, who was fleeing desperately, was shocked. Uchiha Mu Yun's figure slowly walked out of time and space in shock, and stood in front of him. A pair of scarlet Sharingan was mixed with a playful expression. Let Onoki sweat coldly. Even the muscles of the whole body collapsed tightly together, not daring to let the slightest loose. Uchiha Mu Yun, you have won the war, what else do you want to do? Onoki's snow-white beard swayed in the breeze. If it wasn't for the trembling of what he said, it would be a bit of aura. In the next second, a huge frost dragon appeared in the air instantly. He opened his mouth and bit Oyeki in his mouth, and hit the ground fiercely. A circle of crack marks spread from the ground instantly. Among them, it was covered with ice, snow and frost. Don't think that I won't beat you when your kid is older. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.